recap. Yes, we're going to check in on an upcoming election. Yes, Franz Borghardt is in for legally served, and that's going to dovetail with a little legislative preview. We got a whole lot coming your way. So let's get right to it. Top stories and trending. Let's go. Starts us off with, sorry, I got to go back to my, I have way too many things open right now, Breland. Let's just get right to it. There we go. Now I'm on the right page. All right, starts us off with number 5, local nonprofit Baton Rouge Green did begin the process of planting hundreds of trees at the 10-12 split yesterday. I actually saw a bunch of them out there. The organization aims to replace 256 live oaks that were removed 5 years ago due to construction of the College Drive flyover. A federal judge heard arguments Tuesday on whether Louisiana has the right to keep out-of-state doctors from sending abortion-causing drugs to the state's residents without requiring an in-person consultation. Louisiana moved to restrict abortions after the Supreme Court in 2022 said states could make up their own mind, and, well, that's where we did. Well, we've seen cases since then of abortion drugs being sent through the mail. A 35-year-old woman was identified as the person who died after swimming in a pond at the Blackwater Conservation Area in Central while the park was closed. 35-year-old Emily Kane died after struggling to swim in the water of the Breck Nature Preserve and being brought to the hospital, officials said. The Healthy BR initiative is under investigation after it often failed to properly bid contracts, justify its expenses, or comply with basic federal rules governing half of the $1 million in grant money that helped fund it. This, according to a 2022 audit. This was a major initiative of the previous administration in Baton Rouge. It is about to be under an even closer microscope. As we said, this is more than half the dollars are in question at this point. Number 1 takes us over to the Baton Rouge Police Department, who is investigating a woman is wanted for allegedly embezzling over $32,000 by stealing checks from realtors' offices she worked at, writing them to herself, and that according to the warrant. 40-year-old Ariel Brown is wanted on 48 counts of forgery, 48 counts of embezzlement. She's also accused of stealing and altering 48 separate checks between August of last year and January of this year.
Is that illegal? Is that wrong?
Is that wrong?
Is that wrong?
I got to tell you, I got to plead ignorance on this one.
You know, when it comes to these financial crimes, and I may regret saying this later in life, like, she ain't ever gonna pay the money back. So
let her go.
No, I didn't say that.
Where are we going here?
Let her go.
Well, okay, finish. She ain't ever gonna pay the money back. So,
are we?
So,
I mean, don't we just need to put this person in jail?
Well, yeah, but we have to prove that she did it first.
Well, look at you being like a criminal defense attorney and
telling
stuff. We need to get you on jury duty.
No. I've done that before.
President Trump set a new record for the longest State of the Union at 1 hour and 47 minutes.
Was that it? 1 hour and 47 minutes?
It felt longer.
I got to tell you, I will be
last
the first
night.
I didn't watch the whole thing.
Oh my
I watched
gosh.
a good chunk of it.
Can we just say Al Green for the second year in a row? Al Green.
Yeah.
That dude.
I know.
Right there.
I know.
It's just, and then.
And does he really have to be named Al Green? That's so unfortunate.
Right.
Great singer.
I mean, yeah, I know.
Great singer.
Right.
I know. Still in love with you, love and happiness.
Dock of the Bay.
That's Otis Redding.
Oh, you're right. Different black singer.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, there's more than one.
do you know what I did enjoy last night? This one.
With us tonight is a group of winners who just made the entire nation proud. The men's gold medal Olympic hockey team.
Which is really that was really cool last night.
It was cool, but he gave the Medal of Freedom to the goalie. The goalie hit a great game, 41 saves out of 42 shots. That's awesome. But the dude that lost his teeth and scored the winning goal does not walk away with a Medal of Freedom.
That's true. That's
He
true.
not only scored the winning goal, but he lost his chicklets in the game.
That's true.
And he gets nothing. Well, he gets a gold medal. But
I wonder if Trump's going to give him some teeth, like a brand new set of teeth.
probably. I'm sure the U.S. is going to hook him up with that. I'm sure there's some kind of health and dental.
Right. Leading into this one, well, it looks like the U.S. women's hockey team will get a makeup date to visit the White House after having to decline the invitation to the State of the Union. So men were there last night, but the ladies were not.
So, and as I understand it, did the president catch blowback for the way he invited the women?
I don't know. I don't know. Was it inappropriate the way he invited them?
No, it was apparently dismissive and misogynistic. I didn't even know this was a controversy.
I didn't even know either.
So like every Tuesday I do a hit on a show. I do a segment on a show down in New Orleans, on Corey Johnson's show down in New Orleans. And he was hitting me with this topic. And I'm like, first of all, doesn't Donald Trump say enough to tick off the left in reality?
Right.
They don't have to go digging for things. But apparently the way he invited them was something along the lines of like, we got to get the men to come to the White House. We got to get the men to come to the State of the Union. And I guess we'll ask the women too, because they want as well. In his delivery, when
we all know
this far into his career, we know when he's joking. We know when he's being lighthearted.
It's not like he said we need to grab him by the.
No, that was from a long time ago.
So here's my question, and I thought about this. You're invited to the State of the Union.
Yeah.
Okay. Regardless of how you feel about President Trump, I think I'd go to that. That's historic, and I would like to say I've been to the state of,
unless you are in Congress, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Right. But like, if you decline and say, "Hey, I'm a hockey player. I don't."
Right.
This is not my venue. I appreciate and respect the invite, but this is just not my jam.
Yeah.
Is that insulting? I don't think so, but like
with the quick turnaround on it, I mean, they win and then it's like the very next week and I'm
get on the plane and
right. And they've all got jobs and lives and whatnot.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't
if they're women's hockey players, they're definitely not making money on this.
Probably not.
Right. I don't mean that. I don't mean that ugly. I mean,
look,
that's the reality.
I know we have to get to moving, but Kim says on Facebook, rumor is the women did not want to meet him. That's the rumor.
Well, but then now they're going.
Right. So anyways, all right, here you go, Brian. Ernst. We're back on our great white. He popped back up again. So she, oh, my bad. Apparently she's been circling still. Well, this time unusually close to the shore of Alabama.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so she never left the Gulf.
Let's go, Redneck Riviera. We are a month and a half away from spring break.
Yep.
Ernst is going to be a thing, y'all. Ernst is making circles out there in the Gulf after coming down from Mahone Bay off the coast of Nova Scotia, Canada.
Come and see us
all
from
the way down here. Ernst is literally a Cajun. Ernst left Canada, came all the way down to Louisiana.
Did Mardi Gras, had gumbo.
Right. Now going back over by Alabama, going to see a little Orange Beach.
Yeah.
Maybe scooch over to 30A before coming back this way for Jazz Fest. I don't know.
I love it. I'm here for it. Ernst.
Got to take a quick second to tell you about the folks over at Industry Makes. Industry Makes is a combined effort to speak up on behalf of industry in Louisiana. If you want to learn more about it, I highly, highly recommend you check out industrymakes.org. There is always a concerted effort to shoot down industry in Louisiana. There's always a ton of groups that are ready to protest, a ton of groups that are looking for camera time, a ton of groups out there looking to put a stop to anything going on when it comes to, quite honestly, creating jobs and making all the products we use in our lives. Industry Makes is the rebuttal. When there's misinformation out there, they get the right information out there. And, oh, by the way, you can help. If you want to learn how to become an ambassador, they have the ambassador toolkit right there. Well, you got to sign up for it, but you get it on the website. Sign up for the ambassador toolkit at industrymakes.org. Well, I'm going to tell you who I absolutely adored. Were you there at the Rotary Club last week? David Cresson from...
He used to be a Catholic high teacher.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He taught Brian Hightower.
And yeah.
Yeah.
And some
I know because Brian Hightower stood up at the meeting and said...
I was in Brian Hightower's in my class at Catholic High, yeah.
Okay, so he actually pointed out that he taught Brian Hightower.
He would...
That's Stephen's brother, right?
Yeah. And Brian stood up at the meeting and said, you ain't teaching me much.
Ooh. What did he teach? English or religion?
I don't know.
I think it was religion.
I don't know. I was way too busy getting a real education.
Hey, he was a coach. Did you get a real education?
Would you hand me that pencil, please?
You want your stapler?
No, the pencil, please.
Swing some stapler.
I asked for the. Thank you.
They said I could keep my stapler. My swing
doesn't bind up as much as the swing line.
Do I need any sports cuts for you?
No.
Okay, I'll make it.
No.
I'm not used to having no.
I know. It's weird. I might pull a couple for. We had to move. We're moving this date in history back to 8:05.
Okay.
And we're going to talk State of the Union at 7:55. So I might pull a couple cuts there. No, he does not need more oxygen.
Oh,
By the way, we're blowing out top stories and trending at 7:05. We were supposed to have Senator Cassidy on at 8:05, and then his people got back to me and said, "Can we move that up because we mixed up Eastern and Central?" And I was like, "Yeah, no problem." So, Senator Cassidy had himself a good night last night. He had himself a good 10 seconds last night. Because Donald Trump, I was watching on Fox News, and because I'll bump around during to see what different coverage looks like. It's the same, obviously the same content, but given a different perspective depending on where you're watching. So I was watching on Fox News, and when Donald Trump talked about prescription drug wins, camera pans to Senator Cassidy.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's like that visual can't that's earned media.
Did you talk about Iran last night?
At the beginning.
So fun fact, I will be out the next 2 weeks. I'm going to the Holy Land. Maybe. I'm supposed to fly to Tel Aviv on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. Like the temperature in Iran right now, it's a little warm.
Kim, are you watching Franz's dog while he goes to Iran?
She has the pleasure of watching Maggie. Magdalene is staying with Kim. I don't really like it because Kim spoils the heck out of the dog. And then it's like it's
get home, it's like your chopped liver.
Well, it's like she comes home to cell block, A, and it's like I mean.
Yeah, Kim says, I get Maggie.
Does an attack on Iran affect Tel Aviv? I mean, it's 3 countries away.
So it's the Holy Land. The actual Jerusalem is probably the old city because they're most likely not going to bomb the holiest Muslim place.
Right.
And all that. But like if I'm in Bethlehem or Sea of Galilee, you start getting closer to the poop.
Okay. But you still have to cross Jordan, Iraq, then Iran, right? Oh. Undefeated no more. Oh, so rough. LSU baseball. LSU had a rough night last night. They had a rough second inning, if we're being just completely honest. Tigers had a rough night last night. They moved to 8-1 of the season. McNeese rolled it in the box, posts up a 7-6 win. Inning by inning score. It's very, very telling. The second inning, McNeese, the Cowboys posted up 4 runs on 2 hits. You had 2 hits. You had, I want to say, 4 walks and 2 hit batsmen in the 1 inning? It was just brutal across the board. Well, just for the 1 inning. Outside of that, they also posted up 3 in the 4th. LSU was 2 in the 1st, 2 in the 5th, 1 in the 6th, 1 in the bottom of the 8th, and couldn't put up any runs in the bottom of the 9th. So McNeese walks out with a 7-6 victory. Derek Curiel was 2 of 3 on the night. John Pearson, 2 of 4 on the night. I think those were the only two hit guys that we saw last night. But pitching wise, it's a rough go for Cooper Williams. Really rough go for Marco Paz. He's the one who gave up. Well, he was credited with all 4 earned runs. He was the one that got credited for the 4 runs. When Cooper Williams came in, that's when a lot of those runs actually scored. Williams himself was only credited with giving up 1 hit. But so the Tigers regroup. They will be at home this weekend. After look, every LSU baseball team has one total tank job throughout the season. They'll be back home this weekend, taking on Dartmouth and Northeastern. It'll be Dartmouth on Friday and Sunday, Northeastern on Sunday and Monday, then 1 day off before UL Lafayette, then another weekend series against Sacramento State before the reality hits of the Southeastern Conference slate, which is basically playing a top 25 team every week all the way up until the postseason. So that is the recap from last night with baseball. Basketball going to be at Ole Miss tomorrow night. It'll be on our sister station, Eagle 98.1. And you're talking about the last ranked team in the Southeastern Conference and the second last team in the Southeastern Conference. And that stadium is going to be at a fever pitch because Ole Miss just hates us right now. Here's the Fox Business Report. 6:50 today? Okay. Well, then I am going to pull some too. No, he didn't break any news about Iran. He just laid out the same case that we already knew. So
I'm in. I'm gonna do the Stations of the Cross at the Stations of the Cross.
Love that.
I gotta tell you, that's one of the things I'm most looking forward to. Is so the whole entire idea is, hey, this is where he did this Sermon
on the Mount,
right? Maybe or near here,
right?
But he definitely walked in these places,
mm-hmm.
like so. Liberal let low.
What is your favorite station? What? What's your favorite station of the Cross?
Vale of Veronica, which would be station 5 or 6.
Veronica 6. Yes, my favorite is 5. Simon.
Serene.
Based off the act script.
No, I understand.
Really spells out of like you live your life as what can I do?
I have in my mind's eye that he has a radical conversion after that. I mean, there's nothing that suggests that.
Either that or he just plays it off and says, "What? I just."
And that really sucked. I had to do that and carry that cross.
Like for 10 minutes.
It was heavy.
All right, heading back to the traffic center where we have got some slowdowns right through the middle of the city here this looks like I-10 westbound. There's a lane closed on 10 West, and it is in between College and Acadian. We're looking at a lane closed right now. Those backups start on 12 just before the 10-12 merge. On 10, it's just after the merge. So you're looking at very slow-moving traffic right there. If you back things up a little bit, is the get your normal delays on 12 West coming in from Denham Springs. The lane blockage is due to an accident that happened about half an hour ago. 10 West in between College and Acadian is where it's marked off at. But there is still one lane closed, so things are stacking up pretty quickly out there. Other than that, the rest of the interstate systems are looking good. Surface streets are looking good with one exception. There was an accident about 20 minutes ago, Thomas Road at Scotland Zachary Highway. So if you're up that way, give that a look. That's your look at traffic from the Talk 107.3 Traffic Center. Tell you what I'm really looking forward to sports-wise. We'll go see a little high school basketball Friday night. Oh, man, it's going to be lit at Catholic High on Friday night.
High school basketball is just fun.
We don't. Our sister station 104.5 covers Catholic High football.
Okay.
Dixon McMakin on the call all season long.
Ooh.
Yeah. But come this Friday, it's going to be on, and your boys could be repping the blue and gold.
Go ahead.
Over in yep. I'm gonna have to break out the St. Paul's gear because it's Catholic and St. Paul's Friday night.
Oh, that's gonna be a good game.
I know. I saw the post from Catholic last night. I'm like, gotta get a hold of Monty Fontenot and be like, the boys need to bring it. I have to live with these Bears. Y'all better bring it. All right, it's time for Legally Served. Let's get after it.
I'm going to go off the rails.
Time for a little Legally Served. Franz Borghardt's in the house. How are you, brother?
You know what I like?
What?
I like watching.
Oh, God, where's this going?
I like watching.
Oh, I know where this is going. Okay.
I like to watch train wrecks. There's nothing in my life that I think would be more exciting. As a people, we love reality TV, right?
Yes, we do. We also love human tragedy.
Human tragedy. I like to watch people fall hard. So Representative Edmondson's bill in the legislature right now to allow for live streaming of family court makes complete sense to me.
All right, let me reset the table here.
You
just dive right in without
let's
anybody.
Watch the pain and misery.
Knowing. As we're getting ready for the legislative session, we're doing a little bit of legislative preview. Franz has come across a couple bills that have his eyes and will have his attention once the legislative session is underway. One of those bills is House Bill 306. It is by Representative Kathy Edmonston. The abstract says provides relative to costs and attorney fees. You want the one by Regina Barrow first, don't you?
I want the one that allows live streaming of court.
Okay, never mind. That's Regina Barrow's bill. Let me pivot.
No, Edmondson's a part of it.
Well, the actual author is Regina Barrow. So search by author because I don't know that one's number yet. Franz, I'm one of those nerds that once the session starts.
I did send it to you.
I know, but I'm trying to pull it up on my laptop instead of my phone where I can actually read it.
Well, while you're looking for it, I'll allow me. This legislation as written now, it could change, it might change, it probably will change, would allow for the streaming of family court. With the exception of certain sensitive issues dealing with children and whatnot. But no, let's get it all out there. Real Housewives of Baton Rouge, let's do it.
Well, apparently it's going to be ex-housewives of Baton Rouge if it's family court.
I think what could possibly go wrong with us airing the worst situation in human lives in existence? What could possibly go wrong? By the way, I'm sure that when we have true sexual assault victims that experience that either in their marriage or outside of their marriage, or really violent human beings that put beat downs on people, I'm sure that those people who are true survivors and victims won't be discouraged in the least from coming forward because their stuff will be live streamed for everybody to see it. What could possibly go wrong with this?
As I understand that the way the bill is written, that would not make it on the air. That would not make it to the live stream. The live stream could be shut down by the judge's discretion on a number of different things.
If I was a good judge there, I wouldn't let anything be streamed.
Why is that?
Absolutely deplorable.
Why is that? Why does justice have to be hidden, Franz?
First of all, what did I tell you yesterday? If you're going to stream family court, I want it all streamed. I want civil streamed. I want criminal law streamed. Let it all come in.
Hang on.
I do national commentary with cameras in courtrooms. Let's do it.
Yeah.
I had to talk about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Amber Heard on the stand talking about pooping in the bed.
Right. With actual footage.
Let's rip this Band-Aid off. Let it come out.
You're walking up to a very legitimate question.
Right.
Why wouldn't we stream it all?
I think my problem is family law, and again, I'll say it for the umpteenth time. I don't really do family law.
Mm-hmm.
I've been through a divorce. I was one of the lucky ones. I had a good divorce. My ex-wife is a freaking saint. That said, I don't know why we want to watch people's laundry being aired like that. What? It's not a matter of hiding. Why do you and I want to watch that?
No, this is where the trap is, because I don't want to watch it. I have no interest in watching it. But the flip side of it is, why does justice have to be carried out in secret?
People who are crazy, not naming any names, you know who you are out there. You're going to raise that crazy flag up and everybody's going to see it on full display. Right. Not to mention, by the way, why can't justice be transparent? Well, by the way, we are recording every single thing that happens in a courtroom, including hot mics when judges say stuff they're really not supposed to be admitting to doing. Supreme Court justice use.
Hang on. We got a break right here. News, traffic, weather. I'm going to try and keep him contained for 5 minutes. And good morning, Christy. Welcome in, Boo.
Is crazy flag the right word? Freak flag is a phrase. Is crazy flag a phrase? Do you raise, like a pirate, do you raise your crazy flag?
Only when you want more food at Poncho's.
Oh, don't be not. So Texas Day, Brazil. Side note, Texas Day, Brazil. You have the red side and the green side. So you flip the coin over when you want more steak coming out. I got to tell you, it ain't Poncho's. Poncho's, I would raise that little flag up. Oh,
I love me some Texas Day, Brazil. I think we're going to be going there for Abby's birthday. Abby is quite carnivorous.
Someone who will remain nameless just texted me. I think people want to see judges be held accountable. This live streaming court proceedings, again, we record everything. There's transcripts.
It's a difference, though, when you have to go hunting for it, when you need public information requests.
People who are going to just sit there and live stream family court all day, 24/7.
Can you imagine the possibility of Court TV opening up a studio in Baton Rouge and how improved your life would be?
Listen, we don't normally cover Court TV, doesn't normally cover family law.
No, but it's the opening of the door to get to the Amber Heards of the world.
I got to admit, pooping on the bed, that was a bridge too far for me.
It was.
I don't want to judge anybody. Like I don't want to go into your house and judge you for whatever you do behind closed doors, but pooping in the bed, that's a betrayal. I'll just say that. And let me be crystal clear. There's pooping in the bed accident, like you have a health condition accident, and then there is I willfully poop in the bed.
Well, and then there's Sick Boy from Trainspotting. But I can't imagine anybody would get a Trainspotting reference in 2026. That movie's 30 years old.
I got it.
It was Spud. That's what it was. It wasn't Sick Boy. It was
I'm
Spud.
sure none of this live streaming will be Snapchatted or TikToked on to
I'm
videos.
sure it will be.
I'm sure that there'll be no AI use of digital information, making little memes or GIFs and
hang on.
Go wrong here.
If we were to stop live streaming things because of the possibility of how people would manipulate it, we need to get rid of TV altogether.
I saw a video of me as a baby.
Right.
I love that video. I want another baby video. Can we make that happen? Thank you.
Tony the crawfish.
Yeah, he was pardoned yesterday.
What the?
It's the Tuesday after Mardi Gras to celebrate the kickoff of crawfish season. This is our 8th year doing it. The lieutenant governor pardons a crawfish. He is now pardoned. Yes.
Does the lieutenant governor have the authority to pardon a crawfish?
He does not.
I think Jeff Landry's the only one.
Well, the crawfish hasn't committed a crime.
Allegedly.
You know how every Thanksgiving the president pardons a turkey?
Yes.
It's the same thing, but for crawfish season.
Damn, I did not know this.
Oh, look, we're 8 years
lamb.
in.
I'm going to eat lamb for Thanksgiving.
And
What's he do like this?
The crawfish?
Yeah. He just...
I think they just throw them back in a ditch.
And then they re-scoop them.
Yeah, he gets eaten an hour later, but
they don't have much of a shelf life. Like their life expectancy is what?
Oh, it's a very quick turnaround. A couple months. They grow, they die. Yeah. Yeah. Well, no, they live through a year because they have to produce more crawfish. They have to mate. Holy crap. Oh, guess what I'm doing on March 11th? The Sadvocate podcast.
I'm jealous. I'm Dave.
Dave is trying to get Franz.
I'm jealous.
Yeah.
I am legitimate. I've never been on this Advocate.
Dave wants you.
I'm general counsel. I'm general of counsel for this Advocate. We have a symbiotic relationship.
Mm-hmm.
They don't air my poop, and I just have them in case something comes up. It's great.
No, but Dave wants to get you on there.
I really do like what they do, by the way. It's really.
He's also kind of in the zone lately.
Yep.
Except that I'm a little bit miffed that he turned down one of my jokes. Oh, you know what? Hang on. Shout out to Christy. She says, I beg to differ on the lifespan of a crawfish. We had one do 2 years who shed its exoskeleton twice.
Ooh.
So that is correct. We had a crawfish.
Thanks, Boo, for holding me accountable.
We had a crawfish that as a pet.
Kim, yeah, they've been doing it for a while. I think Dave told me 25 episodes in. They just had TJ Morris on there last week.
Chief of Police went on the Advocate podcast.
Yeah, awesome. The chief of they got Chief on there.
It's the smartest move you can do. You lean in. Why not lean in and do the podcast?
Sonny says the beans are good, the pot is egg. I haven't listened to it yet. I keep telling Dave I'm gonna listen to it. I just haven't found the time.
I want the bailiff in the family court to be in the corner being Jerry. Whatever happened to Jerry Springer show? Did he die? Is Jerry alive?
Jerry Springer did die.
Yeah. No, he didn't.
Jerry Springer didn't die yet.
Jerry Springer's dead?
My bad. Yet.
I mean, it inevitably will happen.
I swore he died, y'all. Not to be morbid, but
2023.
Yeah, he's dead.
He is dead. That's what I thought.
79 years old.
So I said Springer's been dead.
Since 2023. It's not that long ago. 637 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Legally served with attorney Franz Borghardt rolling right along. We're going to take this segment all the way up to Your Money Now because Franz has got a jet to go do court TV after this. Franz, as we were heading into the break, you were talking about why family court if we're going to televise anything. And I'm with you. Why family court on that front? I agree with that question, but I'm in favor of putting it all live stream. I do not think anything should be held behind a curtain or should have to be hunted down to get.
I'm going to pose a question to you, the listeners, the viewers, everybody. Do you believe that live streaming a courtroom proceeding is going to make a judge a better judge?
It should.
Theoretically.
Do you believe that light is a disinfectant?
I believe our legislators should be walking around with body cameras. I want to know how all the sausage is made. Let's do it. Get Dixon and Edmondson a little body camera.
No. Body camera. The legislative sessions, the legislative floor.
Oh, but
you're crossing over into personal lives now.
No. If you're doing legislative work, why can't I have it watch it?
Well, you can. You can.
But you also are intellectually smart enough to know it doesn't all happen on the floor.
Right. No,
okay.
I'm aware of that, but we can at least keep people honest when they're clocked in.
Okay.
When they're clocked in, we can keep them honest there.
I'm like you. What did I tell you yesterday? Stream it all. Let it all come in.
That's what I'm saying.
24 hours. We could charge. You know what we could do?
What?
We could charge access fee. Oh, no, that's going to be a bar. It's going to be free. 24/7. 1986. By the way, this legislation, why are we stopping with Baton Rouge? I want all of it. Maybe I don't know.
Did the bill say just Baton Rouge?
Maybe I'll get a crazy hair up my butt and be like, I don't know what's going on in Terrebonne Parish right now, but I want to watch Terrebonne Parish.
Oh,
Let's do
wow.
it. Well,
you know what?
Dude, this is Maine.
You know what? It does say the Family Court for East Baton Rouge Parish.
Yeah, it just says Baton Rouge. Isn't that interesting? It smells a little funny, doesn't it?
It does.
It does smell a little funny. Same legislators that were trying to tamper with Family Court a little while back, weren't they?
Yeah.
By the way, the flip side of this is, if you're a legislator or a corrupt judge,
hang on,
that's going to come out.
Yeah.
If you're bat poop crazy in family court, it's going to come out because you're going to be on full display. Will that modify behavior?
I would hope so.
Hope not if you're bat poop crazy.
In fact, it might enhance it if you're bat poop crazy, and we'll get to the conclusion.
Give me a platform.
And we'll get to the conclusion even quicker when you are. Oh, by the way, you just said something there that you were something about judges tampering.
I think corrupt judges.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it cuts both ways, right? If you want to have a judge that's accountable, we talked a couple of weeks back about a recorded. Have you heard the recording yet? Yeah.
Am I?
You were allowed to say that you've heard it.
I've heard it.
Yeah, it's on hot mic, right?
Yeah,
it's not good.
Pretty damning.
Yeah, it's no bueno.
No.
Well, I guess we'd all be able to watch it then if it was live streamed.
Yeah.
In fact, if I'm not mistaken, a legislator was part of the conversation, although I don't know that she ever actually says anything in the recording.
She does not.
Yeah. She's just like one of the judges has said, hey, you, Brian Haldane.
Mm-hmm.
So point is, let's do it. Just Baton Rouge.
Hang on, I want to make sure that this is not like there's a curtain pulled over the entire conversation that the overwhelming majority of the audience doesn't understand.
All right.
Do you believe that this particular legislation is being written for one particular case that's making its way through the family court system?
Yes.
With that in mind.
It sure does look that way since it's Baton Rouge. By the way, so we're all on the same page. There was an allegation that East Baton Rouge Family Court was corrupt, right? You remember that?
Yep.
And these legislators knocked on the door of the Supreme Court and said, hey, we need you to look into it. And the Supreme Court said, we're going to look into it. And they looked into it. And guess what the Supreme Court said? Nothing to see here. Except one Supreme Court justice who went rogue, went off on his own and wrote a letter. By the way, same Supreme Court justice that is on the recording that we just alluded to. Oh, yeah. It's funny how shedding light, Brian's words, shedding light on things. What happens when we start shedding light? And now we have a piece of legislation that same legislators, only affects what? Baton Rouge.
Okay, but to be fair, there's only one family court in the state of Louisiana. Everything else is a family and juvenile court.
So why can't we air it all? Let's air it all.
Because when you are
juvenile court, no.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Everything else is family or juvenile court.
I have been slightly hyperbolic this segment. So let me pedal back.
Slightly?
Let me pedal back and say this. The legislature, in whatever iteration it passes in, if this passes, will have to contend for hearings where children have to testify.
At which point the judge will shut down the stream.
Yeah.
So then that's why I'm okay with it.
But you do know that there will be a kook that says what? We should be able to watch that too.
No, we should. Since when do you listen to kooks? Like, we do too much of listening to kooks in this country. That's just a simple no. It's a kid. When the kid is up there, you shut down the stream. Perfectly fine with that. Can we move over to this other bill that it's
sure.
Also
let's do it. You mean the one that encourages people to abuse the heck out of people?
I don't think it does that. I think
it does feel like it does.
It makes it harder.
It champions abusers.
It makes it harder to convict them. All right. House Bill 306 provides relative to costs and attorney fees after an initial hearing in domestic violence cases. The long and the short of it is, I'm just going to read the whole digest. Present law requires all court costs, attorney fees, costs of enforcement and modification proceedings, cost of appeal, evaluation fees, and expert witness fees incurred in maintaining or defending domestic abuse cases to be paid by the perpetrator of the domestic violence unless the court determines that the petition was frivolous. Proposed law removes the costs associated with modification or maintaining proceedings concerning domestic abuse and then otherwise retains present law. Proposed law also provides that after the initial hearing, all costs will be assessed as in any other civil proceeding, and each party will be responsible for respective attorney fees. If you want to call on expert witnesses, if you have costs that you have to incur, as of right now, that falls on the accused, correct? Once they're convicted.
Everybody is responsible for their own costs unless the court determines that something merits the other side being responsible for court costs and attorney's fees. So if a person is domestically violent, such that it causes you to have to bring them to court, why? And let's say the court finds that they really were domestically violent, or that they abused kids, or that they did something horrible. Why in the world would you make the victim financially responsible for their own costs if that is in fact the case?
Because where's the burden of proof?
You're barring the door to no.
Who has the burden of proof?
They do have the burden of proof, but once they prove it, why are you making a bar to the access of court by saying, you know what, I'm going to financially tax you for being abused?
Is that the way this reads, though?
That's the way that reads. I'm sorry. And look, you know what I do for a living. It ain't like...
No, I know.
I mean...
I know. And this, but...
Who wrote that one? Who wrote that one?
The same Edmonston. But it's... If the burden of proof is on the... If the burden of proof is on the victim, there shouldn't be a financial threshold that they have to clear as well in order to prove it. Or should there be?
This also is being drafted, in my mind, my belief, for one case. And that is the problem. You have a legislator or legislators who are intervening in cases in the family court. It's a separation of powers. We're at number one.
No,
okay. Max Gruber family. I have no problem with people seeing a problem and going to the legislator and saying we need a law that fixes this problem. I don't have a problem with that. But the
number of laws that are written based off of one example in real life is ridiculous.
This is going a little bit further. She has already legislated or attempted to legislate a outcome in a case, in my opinion. My opinion, guys. And I have the audio to prove it.
All too often, when you see an issue in life that can be adjusted with a change in the law, how many times do you say it on the show, Franz? How many times do you say, you know what? You don't like it? It's the law. You don't like the law?
Go to the legislature.
Go to the legislature, write a new law. Now they're trying to write a new law, and you have a problem with that too.
Call Dixon. Say, Dixon, we got this problem.
I'm looking for Dixon's name on this.
He's on one of them.
Okay.
I tried to talk to him yesterday about it. He didn't want to talk to me.
Well,
it's okay. Not everybody likes talking to me. Point is, here's the deal. I think these are not good ideas.
Okay.
I think I like you don't have a problem with streaming all court.
Right.
We don't allow that in Louisiana. At present, we do not allow that.
Which I've always wondered why.
All right.
Well, and I think I have a pretty good idea of why.
And look, you can open that floodgate slowly. You can say we are going to try trials, but we're not going to show the jury. We don't need to see the faces of the jurors.
Oh, no, we shouldn't see the faces.
Somebody will say, well, why can't we see the face? We need to be able to see who's making these decisions. Crazy don't be crazy.
I'm telling you,
can't not help but be crazy.
My whole argument, you need to stop letting crazy be a part of the argument. Take what's rational, take what's reasonable out there. If somebody says we need to see jury members, then
I don't think
the next question is going to be, so the next statement should be next.
Let me say this. The East Baton Rouge family court is not perfect. No judge.
No family court is.
No judge. No court is perfect. That's why we have an appellate system. The system contemplates imperfection. It contemplates sometimes when you call balls and strikes, you're going to get it wrong. You're going to get an instant replay on this, right? The problem I have is I am very uneasy with broadcasting only one area of law, which we can all kind of agree is when people are going through the worst part of their lives.
That part I agree with. Yeah. This is the worst part of their life.
It is. Some people do wake up and say, divorce. I'm excited. But most people who are going through divorce, it ain't good.
Right.
And it's just like, why in the world are we streaming that? And if the answer is, well, we need to hold judges accountable, we have mechanisms in place already for that.
Those mechanisms are not easy.
The
threshold is way on the other side. You got to get out of here. You got what you got going on Court TV this morning?
Who knows? I just show up and I talk.
It's just a national broadcast.
Franz Borghardt.
They just sling things at you.
See you guys. Bye.
Later. All right, we got Your Money Now coming up. On the back end of Your Money Now, we will visit it with a little bit of the State of the Union. Might have a soundbite or two. Hey, coming up at 7:05, Senator Bill Cassidy is going to join us. He actually had a good night last night. Well, depending on which broadcast you were watching. Here's Your Money Now. You can't turn that on early. Yeah, it's. I don't know why Kate can't get rid of that, but you can't turn that one on early. I know. It's the channel is open to something else.
So I have this one already if you want to use it.
You should be ashamed of yourself not standing up. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Of the State of the Union. Might have a soundbite or two. The threshold. What you got going on Court TV this morning? I just sling things at you. See you guys. Bye.
Gasoline, which reached a peak of over $6 a gallon in some states, under my predecessor, was quite honestly a disaster. It's now below $2.30 a gallon in most states. In some places, $1.99 a gallon. And when I visited the great state of Iowa just a few weeks ago, I even saw $1.85 a gallon for gasoline.
It's time to go 180 with your ID. That's where I'm at. What's different about 180 Pro? Well, it's a they can build out a big feature that's more simple. But how about this? Simplified building. Guaranteed response time at the time. We'll talk about later. 180 Pro is not required to be simplified. Want to learn more? Check them out.
The big story was how Donald Trump ruled the economy correctly. And 22 Nobel Prize winners in economics didn't. They got it totally wrong. And then just 4 days ago, an unfortunate ruling from the United States Supreme Court. It just came down. Very unfortunate ruling. They will continue to work along the same successful path that we have negotiated before the Supreme Court's unfortunate involvement. So despite the disappointing ruling, he's powerful. Country saving. It's saving our country, the kind of money we're taking in.
There it is.
As time goes by, I believe the tariffs
We're going to go with prices down first, and then unfortunate ruling second, and income tax third.
And you ought to be ashamed of yourself. I'm joking. All right, which one we're doing first?
Prices down.
And tariffs last, right? I mean, unfortunate.
Unfortunate ruling second.
Gotcha. I'm sending them up now.
Oh, did you not get a rundown?
Damn, Brian.
It's been sitting there the whole time. Oh, it's because I didn't give you the trending stories. I emailed you the
I know,
trending.
I'm like,
so.
I'm just.
Well, you know,
flagrant here.
we're 50 minutes in the show. You could ask.
Well, my bad.
That's 6:55. Talk 107.3 FM. WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane. Rolling right along. Always appreciate Franz coming in for Legally Served. We are going to take a look at a couple of other bills next week as we ramp up towards the legislative session.
I gotta say, he was spicy today.
He was, and as much of full disclosure as I can give here, there's a lot of people that are personally involved in this legislation on both sides of the question, so it's gonna get a little bit hotter. Because, and I do kind of have a problem with legislation being written out of something personal, but it's we're not going to walk all the way down that because it just A, it would take too long in one pack, and B, I don't know all the particulars, so I don't want to speak out of turn. Got to remind you about the folks over at Mathern's. You'll find them downtown on 3rd Street. You will find them in the Nicholson Gateway Shopping Center directly across the street from Tiger Stadium. You will find them on Highland Road just west of the Kenilworth subdivision with Mathern's at Kenilworth. All 3 locations. You're going to get new specials every single week delivered to your phone with the Mathern's Rewards app. What do they have marked down this week? What are you getting on special this week? I know last week it was a was it 1 pound bag of crawfish tails was the for $2 off was the special. So we'll see what the special. They come out every Wednesday, so we should be getting them within the hour. My big thing right now, though, where you go on Friday for lunch, Mathern's has got you covered. Specifically the Nicholson location. I like to hit up that hot wing bar. Well, during Lent, I'm not eating eating meat on a Friday, so I'll swing by and grab either the fried catfish or popcorn shrimp. Either way, they've got you covered throughout Lent. It's Mathern's. All right, State of the Union was last night. Coming up at 7:05, Senator Cassidy's going to hop on the hotline. We're going to blow right past top stories and trending because the senator was in the room last night. I was bumping from coverage to coverage, and I was watching on Fox News, and I was told the cameras weren't the same on C-SPAN or some other places. But when the president talked about his win on prescription drugs, camera pans to Senator Cassidy. And I look, in this Senate race, that's earned media. That is solid earned media. When the president's bragging about the drop in prescription drug prices on his watch, it goes to Cassidy, who worked on that. So that's a big win for him last night. We'll talk about that a little bit at 7:05. Getting back to the president, though, prescription drugs weren't the only area where prices have dropped since he's been back in office.
Gasoline, which reached a peak of over $6 a gallon in some states under my predecessor, it was quite honestly a disaster, is now below $2.30 a gallon in most states, and in some places, $1.99 a gallon. And when I visited the great state of Iowa just a few weeks ago, I even saw $1.85 a gallon for gasoline.
$1.85? I don't know. I mean, I'm just throwing this out there. Don't hate on me, right? You ever drive past a gas station that's been closed for 30 years? The sign is where the sign was left. I don't know. If he's in the motorcade, he drives right past, hey, look at that, $1.85. Yeah, but they've been closed since 92. Like, I'm hoping he's right. I'm not going to argue with the gas prices that we're paying right now because, yeah, it is significantly better. We're in the 230s right now. That's awesome. I'll take that and run. But $1.85, my word. We'll have more from the State of the Union, specifically about tariffs coming up at the end of next hour. News coming your way, and then Senator Cassidy's next. You've done it. We've all done it.
No. Matt says 2 accidents, both shoulders, 190 west, just over the bridge coming out of Denham Springs.
Okay.
I think they covered it on the.
Okay. Senator Cassidy is going to sound fine on the hotline. He's not going to be low. And I told Paul he was 805. Crap.
Yeah, but Cassidy's good. He's always good.
No, I know, but like most of the callers are super low.
$1.85 a gallon is the cash price. Plus a bushel of corn and apple.
What you say, Rich? Hey, talk about Pete today?
Talk about what?
Pete.
I'm going to talk about Pete.
68 points against the Knicks. That's why I'm wearing it. February 25th, 1977.
I did not have that one.
I'm on George, the young boy shit.
Right.
Brian, I will tell you, it was the entire experience. People are so rude. The people lead you to court, then they bring you back down, and you gotta wait. Well, you know what they need? I'm getting ready to talk about it. You're sitting in there, nobody updates you.
Right.
You're just sitting there. People are falling asleep in chairs. Can I get an airline stewardess? Would you like a cookie, an Oreo? Would you like a drink?
Yeah.
No.
That'd be nice.
Guess what?
Okay.
The one who played.
Yeah.
First degree feticide, and then.
Yeah.
I was one of the original 14. The assistant district attorney and we best guy. So we left Tuesday, we'll go home, we come back, Monday, we come back yesterday. They say, be here by 8:30. I'm with the judge.
Okay.
So we get up there, boom. Best guy goes over, boom. We break for lunch. Be back at 12:30. Come back at 12:20. We call him back up. We sat outside the courtroom. I stood. The lady sat. Then at 1:30, they put us back down in the main waiting room. And we sat for another 2 hours. Then Judge Franz came down and said, it's a plea deal. I was originally one of the 14. Franz said, introduce yourself a little bit. Oh, you had me the first time. I said, yes, ma'am. And she goes, I never listened to you. Well, I don't know who you are, but meet you for the first time. So when assistant dean, anyway, she was put all this narrative for all the kids. So I went to jail. He's doing it in the radio. You don't listen to him so much. Doing it in your radio voice?
That's awesome.
Judge?
Yeah. Just shitting around for a
Talk
birthday.
about Senator.
Yesterday. We showed up, right?
Hey, Senator, we come to you in like 2
Wait,
minutes.
hang on. The bailiff came out.
Okay.
No, wait, hang on. The bailiff came out, dude. Check this out. Like when we showed up yesterday originally, before the delay and all that. So we showed up yesterday and it's like, we gotta be there at 9, at 8:30. They call us in at 9:15. So we all wait. So all of a sudden the bailiff comes up. No, she's nice. Sheriff deputy. Just come here. They need to talk. And they go, well, you're on radio. They're right. Okay. So did you ever talk about this? Which I is. So can you be objective? No, I'll be objective. I didn't know this happened in 2020. I didn't. But anyway, they go, well, do you have any recording the radio because of this kind of like something happened? You go back and go,
How the hell are you going to
I said,
know?
look, I got my daughter putting contacts in my soul for a socks.
Right.
I said, I don't get Sterling, I think it's what they call it.
Yeah.
But I don't know how long they keep me.
And it goes down so often. Are we back?
But Brian, it was
Yeah.
Are we back?
Yeah,
I got to tell you my experience.
So you did it?
Yeah, but okay, mine was Judge Trudy White, and you know how the first day they'll tell you who's excused before launching the first day.
Dude, I was thinking I gotta be in.
No, she's reading the list, and she's like, bourgeois, bourgeois excused, Green's excused, Hat, Johnson's excused, Smith is excused.
Brian.
I go back I stay there till the end of the day, and the girl tells me you were supposed to leave before lunch. 7:05, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Hour 2 coming your way right now. Brian here with you, Bree Lynn producing, got a busy hour this hour. Insurance Commissioner Tim Temple going to join us on the hotline in our next segment. Paul Sawyer is going to hop in at 7:35. And right now, let's rewind the clock back to last night. Senator Bill Cassidy was in the chambers for the State of the Union address. In fact, we know that because we saw him on TV at a very opportune time. He joins us right now. Senator Cassidy, how are you this morning? Let's drop him right back on hold. Pick it up and see if he's there, please. Pick it up and see if he's there. Okay. I'll pick it up. Senator Cassidy, now we got you. All right, good deal. How are you this morning?
I'm good, man. When was I on TV? I didn't watch it. I was in the chamber.
Oh, so that's the thing about earned media, Senator. It can be very timely. When the president was talking about the big wins on the drop in prescription drug prices, Fox News panned the camera directly over to you.
That's good, brother. Because those are big wins, and man, I jumped to my feet on that one, man.
Yeah. I know. I saw. I was watching at Fox News at the time, so it was. Couldn't have been better timed from your end. But let's back things up and talk about the whole speech. Give us your takeaways from last night's State of the Union.
The president has a mastery of theater, and be able to bring in like the fellow who the Coast Guard guy that had rescued over 100 people from Texas. That was just incredible. Hang on, I got all these alarms going on. Let me turn them off. The hockey team coming down,
Mm-hmm.
the 200-year-old veterans. It was the person from Venezuela reunited with the uncle. There was just a lot there, man. He did a good job, as well as calling out Democrats. Nancy Pelosi did just tan.
Well, with the insider trading part,
Right. I did you stand on that one? No, I didn't think you did.
yeah.
So anyway, he did a good job.
Yeah, he absolutely did. The theater part's one part of it, but there was just a lot of getting down to brass tacks. When he mentioned prescription drugs, that's very, very real. When he mentioned just the overall affordability seemed to be one of the running themes.
Yeah, absolutely. He was talking about more affordable gasoline. Talking about drugs. Prescription drugs, how do you get those down?
Mm-hmm.
Talking about housing costs. He was talking about some of the things that people are really focused on. And frankly, when I talk to people back home, they're having a hard problem. They're having a problem with. I'm going to put it on mute while you talk so I get this out of my time.
No, absolutely. The president ran down, literally ran down a grocery list. He was talking about how the price of eggs are down, the price of vegetables are down, the price of fruits down, gallon of milk, that price is down as well. Then he went on to mention, everything like even hotels and air travel down as well, and a lot of that goes right back to gas prices, and a lot of that goes towards working back towards America's energy dominance, working back towards not a full-on drill baby drill, but at least a drill baby. We gotta make sure that Louisiana's oil and gas industry is pumping it all at full speed, and that's one step towards getting us back where we need to be. We're talking with Senator Bill Cassidy. We got him for just a couple minutes. Senator Cassidy, can you talk about the vibe in the room? Because I know there was like some protest that went on somewhere else A number of Democrats decided they didn't want to play in that sandbox last night, so they went elsewhere. How was it in the room?
Well, I was sitting with the Republicans, of course.
Of course.
Pretty raucous on our side. And of course, pushing back on the Democrats who are sitting there. And I think the president played him a little bit. Oh, you're not going to stand up for that? Oh, you finally stand up. You stood up and kind of pointed out that you're not going to stand up when he says, shouldn't we take care of American citizens before we take care of illegal aliens? Or the thing about the young girl who a court had not let her parents talk to her when they were trying to transition her from being a girl to a boy, and they wouldn't stand up. So I think he kind of used their refusal to stand very effectively to point out the differences between the two parties.
We got Senator Bill Cassidy with us for just a couple more minutes, recapping last night's State of the Union. Do you think it's a Trump effect or just an overall effect of where we're at right now? From the time you were first elected to Congress, from the House side, move over to the Senate side, your time in Washington, D.C., has the tenor of State of the Union addresses changed over that time?
I thought about that. Ronald Reagan had people in the crowd that he would ask to stand up. I promise you, Obama used just as much theater. Obama would, frankly, play Republicans a little bit. I finally got you to stand on this one. And I remember at one point he had this smile on his face that, clearly he knew that at this point he was going to, smile. So there's always theater there. Trump may take it to the next level, but it's been there for a while.
I always wonder if we're just kind of prisoners of the moment to be like, as far as the level of contentiousness, the level of back and forth, if has it from your end, it's kind of always been there.
It has been. And I remember a friend of mine, when Bill Clinton gave a State of the Union speech, Jack Kingston from Georgia, he became briefly famous when he walked out and he goes, boy, that guy could sell snake oil. and so there's been some of this going around for a while, and it's the president's opportunity to make his point. Mm-hmm. The other side, I think Al Green holding up signs, that's not been really done before like that. Al Green's kind of making a cottage industry of being obnoxious in those things. But the president made his points very effectively, and he went after affordability, and he knows that is what's impacting people's pocketbook, and he just went after it while celebrating the successes of shutting down the border, for example. So I think he did a good job.
Along with the current State of the Union and the recapping of the wins, there's often marching orders within the State of the Union as well. What were some of your takeaways about like directions that the country's going to head? What are going to be the priorities in the 2026 that's still to come?
Well, what I stood up for, he wants to get prescription drug costs down, and I'm all for that. His office came to my office. His political people came to my office about 4 weeks ago now, asking if we could help write the legislation. And so on the how do you make drug costs, how do you keep them lower? So we're working with him on that. And in fact, on the tariffs, which you brought up, we have a bill that would give the president another tool regarding tariffs. And they called our office this week to see if we could work on that. So just the thing I'm personally involved with, clearly he wants another option on tariffs, and clearly he wants to continue to do something on healthcare. And so in both of those, we're involved. That's what I take as my marching orders.
What were your takeaways from the Supreme Court's decision about tariffs? And I mean, as a member of the legislative end over there, I mean, it's going to take y'all's doing to get something, permanent and move forward. What were your takeaways, and where is that particular battle headed?
I'm not an attorney, so I'm not going to opine on whether or not they were right, but I just know the facts are that the president can't use the tariff authority he was using. And again, I'm not an attorney, but what I read, the one that he wants to use is only good for like 150 days. Mm-hmm. I've got a bill which is very consistent with where the president is, that would give congressional authority for him to use tariffs. And so we've been promoting that to him a little bit because I think that this is something that would basically put a tariff on the countries he's currently putting tariffs on. And it would provide business certainty, because business doesn't like tariffs going up and down. Right. If business doesn't like it, ultimately it hurts jobs. And so it would kind of thread that needle. So we're pushing that with the president and seeing if he'll be interested in it.
With something like that, is there a concern that, like, while it might work right now, does it have the longevity? Is it sustainable beyond one administration?
Yeah, the one that I'm speaking of it would be congressionally mandated. We spend so much money controlling pollution in our country. China doesn't. So that lowers their manufacturing costs by about 20%. And in the meantime, the air pollution they put out blows over to our country.
Right.
So what we'd say is, listen, we spend this much money controlling air pollution. Whatever you're not spending, we're going to charge you the difference between the two. And add that onto the cost of the drugs you're sending over here. Excuse me, the products you're sending over here. And that would kind of even the playing field. Right now, it's cheaper to manufacture, so our jobs go there because businesses want to produce at the cheapest rate possible. If we do this, it evens that playing field. We get jobs back here. In the meantime, there's a tariff on Chinese goods or maybe someplace else. And along with that tariff, it encourages them not to pollute the air as much, not to send it over our way. So it's kind of threads the needle multiple ways.
I dare an environmentalist to vote no on that.
Yeah, I think that in this case, my national security people like it because it's a way to kind of put the brakes on the Chinese economy. Of course, they're using their money to militarize.
Right.
You get the people who want to control pollution. The president, when he first put in the tariffs, he said, "Listen, they're polluting in the atmosphere, and then they're sending the goods to us." So it's part of his original rationale. So I really think it's where the president wants to be. And again, we're promoting it, and I kind of see where they're setting the stage where they could use our bill.
We got Senator Bill Cassidy with us. Give us kind of a recap of last night's State of the Union. But I also want to get, if I keep you for one more minute, Senator, I know we're already going over. I promised to get you out of here by 7:15. But what else is on your immediate radar? What else are you working on right now?
Working on right now, we got to lower prescription drugs.
Mm-hmm.
We got to lower the cost of healthcare. And if you talk about affordability, that is something that is unaffordable for the family. It's unaffordable for the business that they're providing the healthcare for. And so, again, drugs are one part of it. The cost of health insurance is a big part of it. The president talked about price transparency. That's going through my committee. I think it's called the price tag bill, in which we would be able to give people the price of the x-ray. Oh, is it $500 here and $100 down the street? Let them know that right away when the x-ray is ordered. It makes, they save a lot of money. And so I think we just have to be, that's why I stood to my feet last night. We got to lower the cost of healthcare. We got to make life more affordable for the people in our state and across our country.
Last one before we get you out of here. I know I'm keeping you longer than I promised, but the president also made a nod to protecting Social Security last night. I know that's something you've worked very, very hard on, and we've actually seen some headway.
Yeah. And so we are working to protect Social Security. First, obviously, no tax on Social Security. If you're a senior citizen and trying to make things more affordable, then for most seniors, they won't be paying tax on their Social Security. But we also got to keep the fund solvent. And I'm working on that and I've talked to the administration and also talking to House members and senators. Can we get something done? And people want to get something done. And we think we have a plan. So more to transpire on that one.
In the meanwhile, I appreciate you carving out a couple minutes this morning, Senator Bill Cassidy, the morning after the State of the Union. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Brian.
Always. 717 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. We are long for a break. We got Insurance Commissioner Tim Temple hopping on that very same hotline in just a quick second. But I do need to remind you about the folks at NeuroJust. Neurojust.com is the website. NEUROJUST is how you spell it out. Neurojust.com. If you or someone you know is battling with anxiety or depression and has been treatment resistant is the way to describe it. I would say if you just don't like the antidepressants, you don't like the meds, give NeuroJust a call. In fact, their phone number is 225-330-7382. Here in Baton Rouge, they're located on Jefferson Highway. They do something a little bit different. They specialize in transcranial magnetic stimulation. This is a completely different type of treatment that targets the areas of the brain that affect mood. Think of it this way. If you're fighting with anxiety or depression, you're constantly in a fight or flight state, okay? And that's exhausting. It's like constantly having 6 foot waves. You hear the commercial during the break. It's like constantly having 6 foot waves smashing back and forth in your head. This calms those seas. Give them a call, 225-330-7382. Let them explain it a lot better than I do, and I will tell you this on the way in. Insurance will pick it up. Neurojust.com.
B, and all I did was I was like, let me take it to A and take it back down to B, and then when I took it back down to B, he came through. Unless you just didn't hear me. For once.
I don't know why that would have made it any different.
That wouldn't be, because I was like, is it in core? But no, it was in B. And y'all were in offline. So.
Tim? Hey, it's Brian. We're in break right now. You want to hit me with some topics real quick? Because if I got an email this morning, I haven't seen it yet. I've just been bouncing all over the place. Mm-hmm. I have that one. Okay. Yeah, so meanwhile, I appreciate you. I might actually lead with that just because it's the newest. And then anything you want to preview for the session? Okay. All right. Well, then we'll end with legislative session. All right. Hang tight. Coming your way. 720 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along, pivoting from the U.S. Senate to bring it back home to our state. Our insurance commissioner Tim Temple's on the hotline right now. How are you, sir?
Hey, good morning, Brian. Actually, we're holding a pop-up office in Monroe, West Monroe, Thursday and Friday, so that people that are in that area, Washita Parish was the hardest hit for the winter storm Fern. And we're going to be up there helping people with any claims issues they're having or questions about insurance in general. So on the road, traveling the great state of Louisiana.
And well, I mean, up in Monroe, it's there's a lot going on up there. Is it different where, okay, and this is going to sound so like, I don't want to say rude, but Monroe doesn't get hit with a whole lot of hurricanes. Like their tropical storm are lower by the time they get that far north, right? Is it different when people who don't have to go through it all the time have to go through it? I mean, are they a little bit less indoctrinated?
Well, no, I wouldn't say that. When they do, hurricane force winds do actually travel all the way through the state when they're powerful storms. So, correct, not as frequently.
Right.
But they certainly are not isolated from it where it doesn't happen. And look, when the winds reach up there, what happens, a lot of times you have trees falling, they fall on homes, they fall on property, cars, and everything else. And so it's a different, it's not so much a wind damage to the home. It's more of damage as a result of winds knocking other things over like trees. But particular to the winter storm Fern, I mean, there was a lot of damage there, frozen pipes, water leaks in houses once those pipes thawed out, trees laden with ice, did fall. There's a lot of that. I think more than 50% of the claims that we've seen filed so far are in that Monroe, West Monroe area. So that's certainly an area of concentration.
Yeah, they got hit pretty hard. And we had Mayor Friday Ellis on with us. It was, that was for around Washington Mardi Gras time. So it was the storm before the storm. That wasn't the named one. Fern was much, much more brutal. So posting up shop up in Northeast Louisiana for the remainder of the week. We got a lot of ground to cover statewide, though. Can we start with the governor sounding off the other day about wanting to see more fortified roofs? And this, I guess the dollars are coming from LWCC. Is that right?
Well, look, I can tell you that the governor has been very supportive of the fortified roof program since we both took office.
Yeah.
His budget for the last 2 years, he's included funding for fortified homes so that we can try and get as much money as possible. And he talks about the fortified discounts that are available once you get that. So, I mean, he's supportive of the program. I will say, like any private insurance company, LWCC does have limitations on how they can spend surplus funds.
Okay.
Some of that is for financial solvency reasons and some for others. But, I do think that there's a way to find additional funding for additional, more fortified roofs. And I guess I'd kind of say that, look, I'm encouraged the governor's looking for creative ways to get more fortified roofs. I mean, that it is important for the citizens of Louisiana. It is a long-term solution, as you've heard me say many times. And, as a board member of LWCC, of both LWCC and Louisiana citizens, I'm looking forward to having conversations with the governor, his staff, with those boards as we try to find additional funds.
Well, I mean, short-term cost, long-term benefit, and we all benefit from it. If I'm right on this, it's the more fortified roofs we have in the state of Louisiana, the better it is for the whole of the state.
Certainly. I mean, that is one thing. And look, I want to remind your listeners too that if you look on your current, whoever you're with currently on your homeowner's insurance, there's a thing called a fortified roof endorsement. You can buy the fortified roof endorsement, and if your roof has to be replaced, if your whole roof has to be replaced from a covered loss, that fortified roof endorsement would pay to make your roof fortified, so that your roof would be rebuilt to a fortified. So, there's that option. There's the grant program, obviously, which we have, and we now have a dedicated funding source, which again, the legislature and the governor were very supportive to change that funding stream. So we now will have somewhere between $27-30 million a year for the grant program.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I was talking to a gentleman yesterday. He's going to go. He was going to just go ahead and put a fortified roof on himself and claim either the tax credit or the tax deduction for next year. So there's a lot of incentives to get a fortified roof.
I mean, back in the 1920s, it was a chicken in every pot. In the 2020s, it's a fortified roof on every house.
Well, look, I mean, we need fortified roofs. We just got to make sure. I mean, the demand is huge. If you think about just South Louisiana, you could argue that there's 500,000 residential homes in South Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
At $10,000 each, that's $5 billion.
Right.
So that we'll never have enough money to have the state put fortified roofs on. So that's why we need to talk about things like building codes and doing additional incentives to help people that are going through roof replacement, either voluntarily or building a new home. That we need more fortified roofs on. But I'm encouraged that we're looking for different ways to fund this program, and like I said, I'm looking forward to conversations.
Yeah, thinking outside the box never hurts. We got Insurance Commissioner Tim Temple on with us. Your office gave us an update not too long ago about what rate changes we saw from last year. Kind of a good news, bad news mix.
Yeah, look, it's a mixed bag, and Brian, I've maintained in there. I want to be transparent on rate changes up and down. I think the citizens of Louisiana deserve to know where things are.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not popular to give news that some perceive as bad, but when you run for an elected office, your job is to let the people know what's going on, and good and bad.
Yeah.
So the press release we just issued earlier this week highlighted that with regards to private passenger auto, so insurance that you and I buy on our vehicles at our home,
mm-hmm.
Over the next 12-month period, these were rate changes that were done in 2025, effective in 25, the citizens of Louisiana, individuals, should save somewhere around $330 million on auto insurance. Now, the flip side of that is on the homeowner's insurance. That market has gone up by about $150 million. So
mm-hmm.
again, a mixed bag. A lot of people bundle their insurance.
Yeah.
So you can still see a savings there, but I still hear people are telling me constantly that they got their homeowner's insurance renewal, it went down, or they switched carriers and it went down. And I keep telling people that, look, if your insurance company is one that took a rate increase, then go shop your insurance. There are companies out there, homeowners and auto, that are taking rate decrease. Go shop your insurance with one of those companies and see how much that will save you.
I'll pick up that torch for you anytime
company.
you want. I mean, I'm living proof. Yeah, go shop your homeowners, and the potential for savings is ridiculous. And does bundling lead? I mean, people do it for convenience. Does it lead to a little bit of laziness to say, well, I would change, but I've got to change so much if I'm going to change anything?
I think I wouldn't say laziness. I think Brian, what it is it's more of a frustration. Auto insurance, homeowners insurance, it is still expensive. Even if you save some money, it is still very expensive and unaffordable for many people. So it's one of those things where out of sight, out of mind, you don't want to deal with it. If I have to go shop my insurance, that just reminds me of how expensive it is. I think there's a little bit of that. It can sometimes be a tedious process. You have to get your insurance documents, make sure if you're switching companies or an agent, then you got to give that information to them. So it's not as easy as it is. I think it should be, but I tell people, if you think about the amount of money that you could save by doing that and the amount of time you put in, I think it's worth the time. It's worth the time and effort.
We got about 2 minutes left with Insurance Commissioner Tim Temple. I tell you what, Commissioner Temple, rather than try to squeeze a legislative preview here, can we get you back on right before the session? And I know it's normally we hit up once a month, but can we squeeze you in a week or two to just get a legislative preview? Because there's going to be some moving parts, but you and I have talked about the potential for insurance fatigue as well. Can I get you on like sometime before the 9th?
You got it. You want to do next week? I'll have my office call and we'll set it up.
We'll set up. We'll get it done. He's Insurance Commissioner Tim Temple. Tell Friday Ellis I said hello.
Thank you, sir. Will do.
All right, we'll talk to you soon. It is 7:30 at Talk 107.3 FM. Oh, you know what? We're a little bit late for ABC News. Let's go ahead and hit. Sorry, I was going to try and squeeze in a legislative question, but there was no way we were going to go on to 7:34 if we'd have done that. Oh, Lord. So. Tell Friday Ellis I said hello.
Thank you, sir.
Said hello.
Thank you, sir. Will do.
All right, we'll talk to you soon.
Will do. Thursday and Friday for the school.
The beginning of that was rough.
Yeah.
That's all right. So he's up there right now. Okay.
He's en route. Wow. Come on in.
Good. I was about to text you downstairs. Neo, knock, knock.
What? No.
Nice to meet you.
We met before, Paul Sawyer.
Oh, yes, we have met before.
Good to see you. I love listening to you and Franz. It's like listening to Frank and George Costanza.
And this
There is kill Mike's.
These are your St. Joseph's Day beads?
Yeah, Rocco gave me those. He was Grand Marshal of the Italian American marching crew for the Spanish Town Parade.
Oh, okay.
So,
yeah, I've never been to St. Joseph's Parade in New Orleans. I hear it's as big as St. Patrick's Day in Baton Rouge or bigger.
Well, the St. Patrick's Day in Baton Rouge is not bad. It's probably the best parade Baton Rouge does.
Yeah.
It is not as good as the St. Patrick's Day parade in Metairie, which I'm.
Oh, they're throwing the actual cabbages.
Yeah. I'm in that one.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm with my father-in-law was part of the original. Like they started it back in the 50s.
Oh wow.
My father-in-law and his brothers and whatnot.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I married into that parade. Some people marry into money. I married into a parade.
That's pretty cool, though. I think I'd love to marry into that.
Yeah.
I guess I married into Hercules and Homus, down in Homa and Thibodeau.
Let me hammer out a live read, and then we'll get right into it.
Mm-hmm.
736 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Promise you a busy hour this hour. Yep, we're going to pivot. Talk Amite River Basin Commission here in just a second. Do need to remind you about the Baton Rouge Metro Airport, flybtr.com. Look, they bring you top stories and trending every morning, which we rudely interrupted to get an update from the State of the Union last night. But nonetheless, flybtr.com. The Baton Rouge Metro Airport. As you're making your travel plans, please keep everything in mind, okay? The whole experience, how long it takes you to get to the airport, the exorbitant parking fees at other airports, the ridiculous mass of humanity that is the TSA maze. Look, I know the headline yesterday said that Louis Armstrong was named as the top airport. It does not stop the fact that it is completely too crowded to get through. So when you take into account the entire experience, we have a top-notch airport in our own backyard. Flybtr.com is the website. Check it out. I'll learn a little bit more about what flights are available, direct flights or otherwise. Learn a little bit more about whole travel packages. You could do all that right there from flybtr.com. All right, time to welcome back to the studio. We have got Paul Sawyer in with us. How are you, man?
Hey, I'm good. I'm hanging in there. How about you?
Doing pretty well as well. You've been busy with the Amite River Basin Commission.
Yeah, we're really excited about what's going on at the Amite River Basin Commission. And so, I've been on the show before to talk about our master plan. That's a historic, first of its kind planning document that shows us what's wrong in the capital region. When we say Amite River Basin, it's the 7 parishes around around Baton Rouge. So it's the greater Baton Rouge area. It's the capital region. I've talked about the $400 million transformational projects that we've got in Livingston, Ascension, East Baton Rouge, Iberville, and St. James Parish. And I've talked about just the transformation of our board, where we've got parish presidents involved and subject matter experts. So we're really collaborating like never ever before. And then one other historic thing that I've mentioned is last time I was on the show is I talked about Bayou Manchac, where we have East Baton Rouge, Ascension, Iberville, and now the city of St. George working together on flood control projects. And so, all of this should sound routine and mundane, but it's actually historic because you've never seen this kind of cooperation. You've never seen this kind of action taking place for flood risk reduction, for flood control in the Amite River Basin. What's really exciting for me now, and I think this is the future of lowering flood risk in this entire region, is that we are embarking on what we call the Upper Amite Restoration Project. And so when you think of the Amite River Basin, north of I-12, generally speaking, north of I-12, you have elevation. I mean, my gosh, you have rolling hills. Mm-hmm. You have contours in the surface. Below I-12, it's flat as a pancake. And why does that matter? Because when the water falls in the hills, it comes down fast and it rushes to the bottom. And when it rushes to the bottom of the basin and it flattens out like pouring water on a tabletop, when it flattens out, it has nowhere to go. And so if you hold the water in the north, if you hold it in the upper Amite, it allows the lower basin, that means Bayou Manchac, Ward Creek, Bayou Fountain, Clay Cut Bayou, Jones Creek, it allows it to drain more efficiently. Why does any of this matter? We saw exactly what happens when the system fails. When the system fails, you have a 2016 event where water cannot drain and it backs up. And so what we discovered in this historic, first of its kind master plan was that the best thing that we could possibly do is hold the water in the northern part of this area, in the upper part of the basin. The absolute best way to accomplish that is to build a reservoir. Well, guess what? Folks in East Feliciana and St. Helena and also the counties in southern Mississippi, they don't want a reservoir. They don't want it. And so we have to respect that. Two of our commissioners are the police jury presidents of East Feliciana and St. Helena. We have to respect that. So what are we doing to achieve that very important goal to protect everybody in the basin, as well as respect the wishes of those people, the people in those two parishes? What we're doing with this Upper Amite Restoration Project is we're taking industrial areas along the Amite River, and we are converting them back or restoring them back into their natural conditions. What does that do? That slows the river down. It creates storage. So instead of having a big, massive storage unit like a reservoir, we're having many, many, many storage units across the basin. And Brian, to really drive it home, what makes this important is that when you slow the river down, when you give the river an opportunity to either flood a certain area, like an industrial area, a mining operation where you can flood that area, or get the river to go back into its channel, you allow it to slow down, you allow it to hold the water, and you allow the lower part of the basin to drain more efficiently. And it's exciting to me because this part of the area, the region, most people look at the Amite River and it looks like a smaller Mississippi River. Just when you're driving over I-12 between Denham and Baton Rouge, it's just a muddy river. When you get further north, it's absolutely beautiful. It's stunning. It looks more like it's in Wyoming or Montana. You have a flat, wide river with sandy beaches, with rocks, and it's absolutely beautiful. The water is crystal clear, and this allows us an opportunity to, once we start acquiring all of these properties, and we're in the process of doing that right now, we're acquiring these industrial locations. We're going to convert these industrial locations into lakes, into beautiful areas for people to go visit, for people to hike and kayak, and maybe in some areas go hunting and fishing. So, we really think it's exciting because we're going to bring the public into this transformational project area, and we're going to lower flood risk in the Amite River Basin.
Let's talk about these reservoirs for a little bit. We got Paul Sawyer on with us from the Amite River Basin Commission. Let's talk about these reservoirs for just a second. Are they meant to just retain water when water is high, or are you just physically building new lakes that are going to be lakes 24/7?
So the idea of a big reservoir, and just remind you that folks in the upper part of the basin don't want the big reservoir. A reservoir, in our view, is just a big storage unit. It is an absolute big storage unit. For us, storage can mean 12 hours, 12 days, 12 months, 12 years. As long as we can hold the water, slow it down, it's going to allow the lower part of the basin to drain. So we don't have to have a massive storage unit. The way we're looking at it is, let's create smaller units of storage. Let's take that big storage unit, break it up into little pieces, and put those little pieces all around the upper part of this region. And then while we're at it, the efforts that we're putting into slowing the river down, keeping the river back into its channel, that will slow the river down, and it will allow the lower part of the basin to drain more quickly.
So I get the size thing. And by the way, you talk about industrial sites. On these industrial sites, is industry still active?
Yeah, so I'm glad you asked that question. So let's be clear, the industrial sites are mining activities. They're sand and gravel, and we're basically in this area sitting on the Saudi Arabia of sand and gravel. And also, by the way, our drinking water comes from this part of the country. The reason our drinking water is different from anywhere else is because it's being naturally filtered through sand and gravel in this very sandy and gravelly part of the country. We don't pull our water from the Mississippi River. We don't pull it from Bayou Lafourche or Bayou Plaquemine. We pull it from the Southern Hills Aquifer. That's right. And by the way, one of the benefits of what we're proposing to do is that by holding the water, that water, sand and gravel is horrible for holding water. So what it does, it's going to drain into the Southern Hills Aquifer. So we're going to help recharge the Southern Hills Aquifer. These mining operations, look, Ascension Parish, fastest growing parish in the state, Livingston Parish, close behind, East Baton Rouge Parish, most populated parish in the state. And the capital region consistently outperforms the rest of the state economically. We have the most consistently performing economy. What does that mean? It means we're growing. We're growing faster and faster. Sand and gravel is an essential ingredient to support this development. It goes into concrete. It goes into all of the materials that we use to help grow with our population growth and our economic growth. When these industrial sites are done, we want to come in and take them, because when they're done, they're spent. And what we want to do is say, hey, to our partners in the sand and gravel community, look, you're done. Let us come in and take your property, because you've already prepared the property for us. You've already prepared the land for us. Because when they mine the sand and gravel out of there, they're basically creating our storage units. They're building us lakes, and they're creating our storage units for us. So we see a perfect partnership working together with the industry. We will come in and acquire their mining operations, and they can continue to do what they want to do at the next mine. So we will come in, acquire, restore, and use that piece of property for flood control benefits, and allow them to continue to support the growth of the capital region.
I know there was some question a couple of years ago with the Southern Hills Aquifer potentially facing some saltwater intrusion because it's used so much, and you get pushback on the other end. Would this also, I mean, this might be an unintended consequence, but would this, by putting more water, would this allow more water to soak into the ground versus flow down the river, thereby keeping the Southern Hills Aquifer more full?
Absolutely. And that's a little lagniappe to our plans. So we never intended to recharge the Southern Hills Aquifer, but when we do this, the more we grow, the more that we continue to do these flood protection restoration efforts, the more water we're going to put into the Southern Hills Aquifer. So it's a lagniappe benefit, unintended consequence, but I'll take that any day.
Unbelievable. Okay. First of all, I had no idea I was this big of a nerd, but here I am. It's all fascinating stuff. As far as the feeding the aquifer part of that, yeah, bonus there. As far as what actually makes it back into the river, how does that work as far as control is concerned? Do we have to shut these individual reservoirs off from the river? Like, how do we feed into them without feeding back out?
No. So another great question. So quote unquote restoration to us, what that means is it can mean multiple different things. So one is that, when these mining operations leave, when we acquire them, they will leave us a lake. And so we can encourage the water, the floodwaters from the river to come into the lake.
They'll leave us a big hole. Huh? They'll leave us a big hole.
It is
when water's redirected, becomes the lake.
Yeah, true. Yeah. And by the way, when these lakes, when these holes, if you will, when these holes are filled, they're absolutely pristine. It's like looking into Lake Tahoe. You can see the bottom of the river or bottom of the lake. They're so clear, so pristine. So that's one idea. This sort of smaller, teeny tiny reservoir. Let the water come in. One thing we can do is revegetate it. We can put forest and vegetation back in there, and that forces the river back into its channel. That means it slows it down. And then also the river meanders. It goes back and forth. We can encourage the river, and property that we acquire, we can encourage the river to come back around in its old floodplain. And again, if we restore the meanders back in the river, we've lost 4 to 5 miles of river because it's straightened out because of just the nature of the river. This activity The river has straightened out. We want to restore the meanders because, if you have to, instead of going in a straight line, if you have to go back and forth like a switchback, that takes time and it slows the river down.
We're going to have to pick this up at a later time because I have like 8 more questions about this.
Okay.
I mean, encouraging a river to go in a different direction should take a little bit of infrastructure. We're just straight up out of
Mother
time.
Nature.
Yeah.
Mother Nature.
Okay.
Yeah, Mother Nature will take care of it.
I would be remiss if I didn't ask you, because since I've got you in studio, you've got an election coming up for State Rep District 69. That election is going to be on the same day as the wearing of the green in Baton Rouge. Just very curious, how's people's reaction thus far with knowing they need to still do their civic duty that day?
Well, so a lot of people think that this is a congressional race, not a state house race. So for people in District 69, so if you're in Old Goodwood Terrace, Sherwood, Shenandoah, Parkview, Woodlawn, Jefferson Highway, Jefferson Terrace, if you live in that area, you are not represented right now. And so you've had a lot of representatives, a lot of legislators on the show talking about what they're doing in the upcoming session.
Yeah.
We do not have representation in this district right now. The election, early voting starts this Saturday the 28th through March 7th. And then the wearing of the green on March 14th is the same day as this election. Election day is March 14th. And so it's so important for folks especially folks right now who are unrepresented, to go out and vote. This is not the congressional race. That's in May, possibly June. This is a race that's in March, possibly April.
He is Paul Sawyer. Man, we get you back on in very short order to finish that conversation about the reservoirs. In the meanwhile, thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you.
We are at rolling up on 7:52. I blew right past your money now. My apologies. We will revisit the State of the Union next. I could go down that rabbit hole all day long because it's someone turned me on. I'm trying to remember who it was. Got me super interested in the Southern Hills Aquifer years ago. And as I understand it, a lot of that water gets used by like ExxonMobil or Dow or whatever.
Look, another idea. I mean, look, the Lagniappe benefits of what we're doing up there are off the charts. So not just flood control, not just recharging the aquifer, but we can move this water towards the Comeet River. If we can direct this water towards the Comeet River
without any built-out infrastructure,
that would take some infrastructure. It wouldn't take much. It wouldn't take much. Think of a very small Comeet River diversion canal. But if we can start, and by the way, a lot of these tributaries are already going to the Comeet. If we can get this water to go to the Comeet, all that headwater will go into the Comeet. It'll hit the Comeet diversion canal, and it'll head towards the Mississippi River. But guess what? Just before you get to the Mississippi River, they have this huge concrete bathtub called the Lily Bayou Control Structure. We could use that to draw down water and feed it to the industry that's pulling out of the aquifer. So in other words, let's take that surface water and direct it towards industry, let them use that, and let the people, the people who are drinking the water, use the aquifer.
Don't say that out loud. Someone's going to build a data center.
Huh? Was that big? But yeah, we think that we believe we can engineer an alternative to industry using the aquifer for their industrial activity. We believe we can take the surface water and direct it without much effort, direct it over towards industry and allow them to draw that water down, because that water is just going right into the Mississippi River. So and it's cleaner than what's in the Mississippi River. So let them take that water and they can use the surface water, the flood water. We'll drink the rest.
Yeah. Love it. Love that. Very awesome stuff.
Thank you for
you've given
thank you for humoring me on this geeky topic.
No. It's like I nerd out on it every time just because it's like it's really intriguing stuff.
Yeah.
You've given that presentation to Rotary, right?
Yeah.
You need to.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Let me find out when. You'll probably be in office the next time.
Garrett's done that when he was candidate and he spoke for election right up on his. Garrett did that before when he was a candidate, but he was wearing a CPRA hat and he went to Rotary.
Yeah.
He was running a CPRA.
Well, but I know there's no openings between now and the 14th, so it would be after election day. How
That's
quick
fine.
is the swearing in? How quick do you get sworn? How quick does the winner get sworn in?
Thank you for clarifying. I have no idea.
Well, you know,
Presumably, I've been told that election will occur on a Saturday and swearing in will occur on a Monday.
okay,
That's what I've heard. Whoever wins,
unless
that's
there's a
what I've heard.
runoff, right?
Or, well, same thing. It just instead of March, it would happen in April.
Okay,
So Saturday in April.
so you'd have the winner would then have a month left.
Yeah, that would
roughly.
suck for the district.
Yeah, it would. It would. Well, always appreciate it, Paul. Thank you very, very much.
Bye-bye.
I could have kept going with that. Like, how cool is no? When you think about the pivots
I
and the
know.
shifts and everything, how absolutely cool is that?
I was
That's-
intrigued the whole interview.
Yeah, it's. I mean, we're talking about like river water. This should not be
I
like.
know.
I mean, we had a State of the Union last night, which we're going to revisit right here, real quick. Just a couple of quick sound bites. But we had a State of the Union last night, and we're talking about redirecting water out of the Amite River. But when you talk about the water, this is the water we drink. The water that comes out of our tap. Okay, the water that comes out of in our sink, out of our faucet. This is what we're talking about here, and we have better water than most of the nation because of this aquifer.
Right.
So if we run the possibility of too much water being drained out of it, then you get saltwater intrusion coming in from the south side. We don't want that. We want to keep it full. So as awesome as it is on the flood prevention end, it's even better that lanyap that we're talking about. The lanyap might be greater than as far as everyday value is concerned, right? The value in flood protection is great when it comes to time of emergency and overall dollar number that would be, protected, right? But the day to day, we're going to get value out of that into just such cool stuff. From the time Paul's taken this gig over, like he has, pardon the pun, dove in. It's like they're getting a lot
Dove into the water.
Yeah, that's why I said pardon.
Yeah.
All right, 757 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. It is we got Beyond Bars coming up next hour. This is going to be some pretty cool stuff. Lieutenant Don Coppola is going to be in with us. If you've heard him talk about the Beyond Bars project, it's going to get heavy. I'm just letting you know it's going to get heavy. Right now, let's go ahead and revisit last night from the State of the Union. President Trump got a couple of different cuts from him. I want to start off with when it came down to the Supreme Court's ruling about tariffs. He did not hide his disappointment last night. Didn't quite use the same level of rhetoric, but with the Supreme Court justices sitting right there in front of him, he held steady with his message.
As time goes by, I believe that.
Nope, that's the other one. That's the other one.
As time goes, the big story was how Donald Trump called the economy correctly, and 22 Nobel Prize winners in economics didn't. They got it totally wrong. They got it really wrong. And then just 4 days ago, an unfortunate ruling from the United States Supreme Court. It just came down. It came down. Very unfortunate ruling.
So he did not care for the ruling, but he did press on with where he wanted his goal to be when it came to tariffs and where we actually could be with, as they pivot, they change plans, they move forward.
As time goes by, I believe the tariffs paid for by foreign countries will, like in the past, substantially replace the modern day system of income tax, taking a great financial burden off the people that I love.
I'm sorry. What? Play that one more time, please.
As time goes by, I believe the tariffs paid for by foreign countries will, like in the past, substantially replace the modern day system of income tax, taking a great financial burden off the people that I love.
Yeah, that caught me off guard.
If that is possible, and it won't be possible within his term, but if that is possible long term, I do hope that history remembers where it started, as opposed to just giving it the credit to whomever's in the office at the time.
That would be phenomenal.
There's not a person out there that won't take that win. I don't know that it could come to fruition. We did see a very, very small sample size of the revenue that could be generated, but long term, I'm keeping one eye on that to be sure. This Day in History is coming up next.
morning.
How are you?
I'm doing great.
I just made a first cup of coffee.
Ooh, I've just poured myself some, so I'm good.
Hey, how you doing, ma'am? I'm Des. How you
Hi,
doing? It's a pleasure to meet you.
How you doing, man? My name is Rashawn.
Rashawn,
Yeah.
nice to meet
A lot of
y'all.
people like to call me Haldane.
Yeah, y'all matched today.
You
Oh,
see
yeah.
us?
Yo, I
Yeah.
know. Did y'all plan that?
No, we were in the same vicinity.
Ain't that something?
Yeah. We would like to have on something different. But
Yeah, right? Are you gonna wear red and then we can do Christmas?
That's not gonna mess you up, huh?
No. All right. Y'all come on over.
Okay.
And
Come on, baby.
Des,
Yes, sir.
last name?
Kennedy. Desmond Kennedy. Call me Des for short.
And Rashawn?
Yeah, RASHAN
Hang on.
Williams.
I'm gonna give y'all a piece of paper.
All right, I've got,
Right.
so we got to knock out one segment before y'all.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
we'll
Okay,
just
cool.
go rock and roll, but y'all hang back. Or
Okay.
hang, no, you're good here.
Okay.
Okay.
Just hang tight as we knock it out.
First and last name, because I'm gonna put you up on the screen.
Okay.
And then same for you.
Okay, got you.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we're live on Facebook right now, so whatever y'all say, Facebook here.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
Like that. It's on that sticky part. I wonder why we're coming from.
Oh, okay.
Cool deal. Look, I'm gonna put some.
All right.
Yeah, we go right to 9:00. Yeah. We have 2 breaks that we gotta take.
Okay.
I know, look, well, he's been hitting the gym, y'all.
What? Yeah, fucking.
Talking about, look,
I
well,
mean,
the other day I forget what we were doing. He had a short sleeve shirt on and he goes,
I was sending him a picture.
oh, yeah. It was Don. Yeah.
Hey, I'm getting it printed.
Happy
Hey,
to.
we should get it. We're going to put it on the TV. Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to get one of you, Don. You need to go like that. Brian, come
Oh,
on,
yeah.
we'll put it on the
That'd
TV.
be awesome.
Hmm.
Hey, we could even auction that off.
We can auction it off to like a
LSU
nonprofit or
LSU
something.
baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Or
bring
green.
yeah,
You see the
bring at
LSU
least
baseball.
$1.50, maybe even $2.
Hey,
You know Christy would pay good money for that picture.
oh yeah. Hey, I'm
Just to
back-
keep it out of public hands, right? Just to make sure it disappears forever.
Hey, I'm back in the morning, or does this take the place of that?
No, you're back in the morning.
Oh, I had Crimestoppers up there on Facebook. Damn. Okay, I'll change it.
Hey,
You skipped everything.
This is part of Crimestoppers.
What did we not hit? What did we miss on the way in? We're 2 minutes early.
My commercials.
Yeah, but this is part of Crimestoppers. This is good.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's good. Leave it.
It's
Okay.
this is an initiative through Crimestoppers.
Leave it.
8:04. Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Brian here with you, Bree Lynn producing. We're going to do something different this hour in just a little bit. We're going to do something different. We got Des and Rashawn in with us. You've been hearing us talk during our Crime Stopper segment about the Beyond Bars program. We're going to dive into it coming up at 8:15. So we want to be ready for that. We want to be on time for that. So let's stick with the Stick with the format. Let's get right into this day in history.
All right, back in the year 1836, Samuel Colt patents the revolver, making it famous for years on to come.
Wait, what year?
1836.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
That is like more recent than I would have thought.
I thought it happened in like the 1900s.
Really? I would have had it in the 1700s.
Really?
So, yeah.
Okay. I would have had it way later. All right. In 1932, Governor Huey Long pushes major LSU construction plans through the legislature, accelerating the transformation of the Baton Rouge campus.
Yeah.
Oh,
Huey Long
yeah.
did a lot for LSU.
He did.
Yeah.
And he got a bridge out of it.
Yeah. A couple of them.
Right. 1937, the first major Mardi Gras broadcast goes national. Radio networks carried the parades across the country, boosting tourism and branding the celebration as a national event.
Very cool stuff there.
Yep. In 1862, Congress approved the first illegal tender act, putting greenbacks into circulation, the first paper money in the U.S. that people had to accept as legal payment.
When was this?
1862.
Okay.
Huh. I thought it would have been earlier than that.
Yeah.
All right, let's see.
Well, but it's weird because that's smack dab in the middle of the Civil War.
Right.
So you had states that had seceded.
Yeah, that's true.
So
you had a war going on.
Right. What was the proper currency there?
Huh. Interesting.
Huh.
Okay. I'm going to jump ahead a little bit. In 1979, Dale Brown brings LSU basketball national attention. LSU men's basketball under him climbs into the AP top 10, launching one of the program's strongest late 70s, early 80s runs.
2 years later, they make the Final Four.
Yep.
Yep.
1984, Jump by Van Halen, one of my favorites, reaches number 1 on Billboard Hot 100, becoming their biggest hit ever.
Okay.
Let's see. I'm going to jump through all that. In 2019, Sean Payton completes a major offseason staff overhaul following the NFC Championship no-call season. Setting the tone for the final years of the Peyton Breeze era.
Well, yeah, the final year would be the COVID year.
Yep.
Which is still just such a travesty because Drew Brees should not have ended his career in front of an empty stadium.
Right.
Horrible.
Absolutely heartbreaking. Yeah. And in 2004, such a good movie, The Passion of the Christ premieres. Mel Gibson's film debuts and becomes one of the highest grossing R-rated movies ever. It was such a good movie.
Yeah.
It was hard to watch.
All right. Poll question for the Facebook live chat. Poll question. Better Jesus, Jim Caviezel or Jonathan Rumi?
I don't know.
I'm Team Rumi. Look, The Passion was awesome. Jim Caviezel's awesome. Rumi's got this.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I love The Passion of the Christ.
Have you seen The Chosen?
No, I have not. Go watch it?
Yeah, go watch The Chosen.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
All right. This day in 1964, Eastern Airlines Flight 304 crashed into Lake Pontchartrain.
Oh, wow. Yep. Okay.
This day in 1977, the Pistol, Pete Maravich, went off for 68 points against the Knicks.
The Pistol.
Yep. Pete Maravich went off for 68 on this day.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. All right. Notable birthdays today. Chelsea Handler has a birthday. Let's see. Oliver Phelps. He's known for being an actor in all the Harry Potter films. James Phelps, also same thing, Harry Potter films. George Harrison from the Beatles, guitarist and songwriter, has a birthday today. Bo Nix, football player. Ric Flair, woo, has a birthday today.
All right. Got a couple more to add to that list. Birthdays today. Born on this day in 1964. The Packers quarterback before Brett Favre was Don Majkowski. Correct. Don Majkowski. It's his birthday. It's also Kurt Rambis's birthday if we want to get old school NBA. Remember the goggles and the high socks? Kurt Rambis's birthday today.
I remember that. Gosh. Okay. All right. Let's see. Notable deaths on this
Not
day.
goggles, glasses. Goggles was James Worthy. Glasses was Kurt Rambis.
Let's see. The only one I really have that's notable. Well, I got two. Bill Paxton, Aliens, Twister, and Titanic. Notable death today, and then Tony Burton, known for his role in the Rocky films.
Tony Burton.
Yeah.
All right.
Who else you got?
I didn't know Bill Paxton was dead.
Oh yeah, he passed away. Probably Oh, look, I have it right here, 2017.
Okay. Wow.
Yep. And the
That's
National Day today, let's see.
Oh, Tony Burton was Apollo's trainer. Okay. Sorry. Just learning who he was in the Rocky films. I didn't recognize the name. I once I see the face, it's like,
actor and boxer known for the Rocky films. Yeah.
Yes, known for the Rocky, but who was he in Rocky? It's like,
okay.
You don't recognize him by name, you recognize him by face. He was Apollo's trainer.
Yep.
Who didn't throw in the towel against Drago until it was too late.
All right, National Day today, National Pistachio Day.
Okay.
Which is, I'd rather cashews. Pistachios are just, I don't know, hit or miss.
Yeah. All right. We're at 8:11 at Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. We got one break coming up in just a second. After that, we're going to pivot and we're going to get heavy, y'all. We're going to talk about the Beyond Bars project. Before we take that break, have to, of course, remind you about the folks over at 5 Star Printing and Signs. Printshop5.com is their website. 225-271-4096 is the phone number. We were talking with Paul Sawyer in our last hour. He's running for office, and I'm pretty sure he called Danny over at 5 Star Printing and Signs, because if you are running for any office out there, if you are campaigning this year, you need 5 Star. This is what Danny and his team do better than anybody else out there. 5 Star Printing and Signs, whether it comes to the signs in the yard, the big old signs that you find out there, the door hangers, the brochures, the mailers, get it all done with Danny and his team at 5 Star Printing and Signs. 271-4096. Quick break. We go Beyond Bars next. All right. So we're just going to start off by telling your individual stories. And then that'll probably take up the first segment, and take your time, tell the story the full way through.
Okay.
And then
How long is the first segment?
about 12 minutes, 13 minutes.
Okay, so like 7 minutes apiece.
Thereabouts, yeah.
All right.
And then the
About six apiece. Yeah, just the highlights.
yeah. And then the second segment, which is also about 12 minutes, we'll go into a little more of like your why behind doing the program.
Okay.
Right.
So
Gotcha.
Okay, gotcha. Make sure you stand in the background. Hit us with the numbers, but we know that.
now, hey, look, if we run long telling the stories, that's fine. We got room on the back end. We can pivot this wherever we want.
Okay.
Okay.
I want to make sure. Yeah, I want to make sure that your stories are told thoroughly. So
Gotcha.
don't worry about 6 minutes or 7 minutes. Take your time. Do it right. Don't hold back.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
I mean, tell it as y'all tell it.
Right. Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh, definitely.
Right.
No holds barred.
Brian, you do it.
Yeah. I mean, as long as we stay within the parameters of the FCC. I mean, that just means no cursing, right?
No.
I just figured if y'all tell the story to kids, you probably don't curse. So yeah.
No.
So we go into schools, high schools. We're going to be at a local middle school tomorrow.
I would be in the
We've
background.
had several requests on the website for the Beyond Bars from the Crimestoppers website.
Talked to over
I
3,000
was going to
kids
say, how
last
can
year.
I request? Because my kids go to basis, Matera. Just go on the Beyond Bars.
Go on the Crimestoppers website and get involved.
Pull it over a little bit closer to you, and y'all should be good. Yeah, it's not omnidirectional, so you're kind of towards it. $8:14. Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Been looking forward to this for some time. I'm glad we're getting to do this. Every Thursday on the show, we do our Crimestoppers segment, and Lieutenant Don Coppola comes in with us, and he'll be in, and he's in the studio right now, but we're not giving him a microphone today. That comes up tomorrow. But Don's been telling us about the Beyond Bars program, and I've been intrigued by it for some time. So I tell you what, little bonus Crimestoppers for a Wednesday. All right, we're going to dive in here. The Beyond Bars program. We have in studio Desmond. We have Des Kennedy. We've got Rashawn Williams. Gentlemen, welcome to the show. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing good, man. It's just a pleasure to be here.
How you doing? It's a pleasure, a very big pleasure to be here amongst you all.
Well, we're glad to have you in, and honestly, I couldn't be happier to be doing this because the fact that y'all share your story, I think, it's not something you want to shy away from. It is real, it is raw, and there's a message to be shared with school kids. I mean, to make sure that the next generation doesn't follow down the same path. We always want the next generation to do better than our generation. So I want to start with this. Des, we'll start with you.
Okay, cool.
Just tell your story from start to finish, the same way you would if we were, sitting in a junior high.
Okay. Well, as everybody know, I'm Desmond Kennedy, currently serving a 20-year sentence for home invasion. So my story starts as, I come up in a household where parents was on drugs, father was murdered. So I dealt with the traumas of that different. It caused me to act out. I fought a lot, got put out of school a lot. So, as you know, from the mindset of seeing and experiencing the things that I experienced, it causes you to act out. So, it started from truancy to selling drugs, then eventually getting into the streets, like hard down into the streets. So, everything that comes with it, being in shootouts, coming close to losing my life multiple times, and coming to prison and doing a lot of time. So as a juvenile, I caught my first charge in probably the third grade.
Really?
Third grade. So I was caught with a loaded firearm in my book bag in the third grade. So and that's where it basically started for me. I was always fighting and stuff too, but I had an anger problem that I didn't even realize that I had, and it forced me to act out. So I got expelled from school.
What grade?
Third grade.
Third grade expelled.
Third grade. Actually, I got expelled from school, caught with the firearm in my book bag. So I want to say this before I go though. See, the kids today think that everything that they're doing is new. I make 39 this year. So ain't nothing that they're doing today is new. Mm-hmm. So, actually, after that happened, so, it was this school. I grew up in Assumption Parish, to where that didn't have no alternative school at that time. I opened it.
Okay.
So, that was actually my actual last straw before I went to juvenile. So I ended up going to juvie, back and forth, in and out of juvie. So I did that until I became an adult. So, crimes go from small to big. So here it is. I'm selling drugs, getting caught with guns, getting caught with drugs. I came to prison on a 5-year term. Actually, I had a 17-year term, but I did 5 years. Everything was ran concurrent. So I got out of prison, came home with no plan. So I went back to doing the same thing. As you all could guess, what that led me back to.
Right.
Prison. So I came back to prison on a home invasion, drug deal going bad. I'm currently serving the 20 years for now. So going through that process, all I could think about was, how did I allow myself to get back into that circumstance again? And going through the traumas that I went through in my life, I started to reflect. And it was mind-blowing to me that out of all of the times that I got in trouble, this time hit different, real different. So that particular night, I called my sister. And it's crazy because I'm always talking to her all the time at the time, you know, and she begged me not to leave out the house that night. But I still left out the house that night and came to prison. That following year, she died.
Oh my.
So, you know, going to prison and dealing with debts is a very horrible thing, and it's something that you can't control because it's going to happen. It's just a question of who is going to die. So here it is. I'm serving a 20-year sentence. I just lost my sister. Then the following year, I lost my grandmother. So she was the one that raised me. And just going through the processes of life, and those back-to-back debts, it was horrible. And experiencing that, it makes you think, like how am I going to get through this incarceration, not knowing who I'm going to lose or when I'm going to lose them or whatever like that. So I want to point something out. So going through the Department of Correction process, it's a question that's asked that I never paid attention to all the times I've been coming to jail, getting locked up. It was, if something happens to you, what do we do with your body? So going through the ARDC process, it's mind-blowing because I never paid attention to that.
Right.
But it's like being sentenced to 20 years and going through the process of that, it just made me view everything differently. So now I'm more aware. So the consequence hit me that I made the wrong choice. And now there's a possibility that I may not make it out of prison because it's a possibility that I could die or something could happen to me. Now, out of all the times I've been getting in trouble, I never paid attention to that until this time. And it ignited something inside of me, and it was like, do I want to keep putting myself through this? I have kids, a faithful wife. It's like what I'm doing.
Right.
So I came to the realization to where I wanted to change, and I started my change early on in my incarceration. So I started taking all of the necessary programs that was given, took every class that Department of Correction had to offer, and I actually went back and facilitated all of the classes that I took.
Oh wow.
Also, so I was a secretary of juvenile awareness. So that's where my journey started, with talking to the youth. So it started with juvenile awareness. I love juvenile awareness, but it was more sugar-coated. That's what I didn't like, because coming to prison, right? Teens are coming very rapidly to prison. So like when you see these kids coming, it's like they are unaware of the laws, of the life in prison, of the rules of how prison is governed, because that's a major part too that they don't understand. Like prison is ran very, very, very different from the outside world.
How so?
Actually, it's a different set of rules. It's a different set of respect. It's things that you would do commonly on the streets that you wouldn't do in prison. It's like you always have to be mindful of what you do. You can't rub nobody the wrong way because you don't know how the next person is feeling. So, you know, in these circumstances, you in jail and somebody could have just lost their mother. Somebody could have just lost their father or a child. So it's like dealing with other people in prison is like everybody's a ticking time bomb. So it's a different type of respect. It's not like you always on pins and needles, but you gonna respect everybody differently. And I feel like seeing kids come to prison and not being aware of their surroundings dealing with that is like, man, like they don't even know like what they're getting into. Like you can't talk loud. You gotta watch what you're saying around somebody's bed area. You can't bump into nobody. It's a whole different level of respect.
Talk with Des Kennedy, just sharing his story as part of the Beyond Bars program. Des, when you started telling your story, you're explaining how, dealt a crummy hand as far as your personal life is concerned.
Yes.
Like you said, mother on drugs, father murdered.
Yes.
And you were really setting the scenario for this to be you being a victim of your own circumstance. I noticed somewhere along the way, your narrative changed to how did I allow this to happen and how did I make the wrong choices? At what point along the way did that level of self-responsibility kick in?
So, is this big misconception, and a lot of people may agree or disagree. But for me, I don't too much agree with the product of the circumstance situation, because I feel like everything is a choice.
Right.
Everything is a choice. And I mean, and despite other things that you go through in life, I've learned that over the years, I had to take accountability for the actions that I took, because my circumstance didn't make me commit crimes. I made myself commit crimes. I made myself do the things that I did. So first thing was accepting full responsibility for every action that I took, instead of blaming it on my surroundings.
Has that changed since your most recent conviction, or did you realize that before the home invasion that got you to 20?
No, it was this time.
Yeah.
It was this time.
How far are you into this sentence?
16 years.
You're 16 years in.
16 years.
So 4 more to go.
Well, actually, I made clemency in October.
Hey,
so all
okay.
I'm waiting on is a signature from the governor.
Okay.
Yep, that's all I'm waiting on.
We're talking with Des Kennedy. We got 4 minutes left. I know I set y'all up as to how we were going to try to structure this, but Rashawn, I want to give you plenty of room to run. I'm going to stick with Des till break, and then we're going to pivot over to you in the next segment, if that's all right.
Yeah, most definitely.
Des, let's take it into the schools real quick.
Okay.
What do you find that is, I'm not going to say most rewarding, but what do you find that like comes up the most when you're in front of the kids doing the Beyond Bars program? Like, where are their interests in your story?
It's mind-blowing to see that a lot of these kids are going through the same experiences that I experienced back then. So actually having that reflection put right back in front of your face, and in the times that we are actually in right now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's crazy because like going through things and being an adult, right? And seeing a child that's going through the things that you went through back then, seeing these children cry. I'm talking about like the experience is amazing because you see it. Like you like really see it, because in the time whenever you going through the stuff that you going through, you don't look at it as I'm going through it.
Right.
Because it doesn't resonate like that with you until you see somebody else going through it, and it puts that mirror up in front of your face. Like, this is what I looked like. This is what I felt like. This is the stuff that I went through. So it's more of an awakening for me.
Okay.
And yeah.
And I mean, I would imagine there's a certain level of, from the kid's perspective, you can't tell kids anything. That every one of them is, no, but I'm different.
I'm gonna tell you this, and doing this changed my whole perspective of that. So I always say this to my generation. I'm 38, about to make 39. So I said that we failed the youth today. And why we failed the youth? Because these kids are dying for the information.
Mm-hmm.
They dying to know that somebody cares about them. They dying to know that okay, I went through this. This is how I got through it. This is how you could get through it. And they really gravitate towards that. So it shows that in the world right now, it don't have that big brother figure that's pouring into them, that's giving them the positivity that they need. So I feel like going into the schools is crazy, because to see kids that I've impacted, and before I walk through the door, they running out, hugging me, like I'm talking about really gravitating towards me and telling me how my story changed their lives. And I really, really, really enjoyed that perspective of it.
Unbelievable stuff. We're due up for a break. We got to check news. We'll check traffic. We'll check weather. You've been hearing from Des Kennedy. When we come back, Rashawn Williams is going to tell his story as well. We're stepping away from the headlines today. We covered all the headlines already. State of the Union, the whole works. We're stepping away from the headlines to do a little Beyond Bars. It'll continue next. All right, got about a 6-minute break right here. We're still visibly on Facebook.
Gotcha. They love that.
Yes. Okay.
Oh wow.
They said amazing interview. Had to jump on and say, "Wow, this is amazing."
Wow, that's huge.
Yeah.
Ron, after Rashawn, there's still time.
There'll be a 4-minute segment on the back end.
I mean, as far as how it kind of came together or whatever you were talking about before.
Yeah.
Wow.
Brian Haldane rolling right along. Been looking forward to how we do our Crimestoppers. For example, we're not giving up a microphone today. Don's going to tell us about the Beyond Bars program, and I've been intrigued. So I tell you what, little bonus Crimestoppers program. And you rev something off the printer.
I might go take it a little quickly.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now's the time.
Now's the time. Let it be. Let it hinder me.
So are we doing this weekly? We need to be, or at least once a month.
If I can get it approved, that'd be great.
Do you know how amazing this is?
It really is. And I have to give credit to the Louisiana State Police, Department of Public Safety.
Because the thing is, you got to jump through hoops to be able to make this happen because you have people still serving terms. So
Right.
there's so many
And
red tape.
that's what they're doing. They're still in the
So y'all
system.
are still in the prison.
Incarcerated currently.
So it's like, how do we let you out to be able to tell your story?
And
Yeah.
and see, for me, it feels like I don't have enough time to because it's way more to the story. But you know,
It's so much deeper than that.
it's way deep.
incredible.
Both of the people that passed away during my incarceration, so I have them with me all the time, so they could be able to see me in this light today.
And even when
Yeah,
Des is released, he's
Yeah.
committed to this program, to continue this program.
yeah,
And then I'm not going to ruin anything, but when you hear Rashawn's story, his
It's
is a
gonna
little different.
mm-hmm.
But this is something
Yeah.
that we want to continue to grow because it is impactful for the kids. And even once we finish, the kids sidebar with them.
Yeah.
Oh, so
And-
y'all
Oh,
give
yeah.
them time to
Yes,
talk to
yes,
Oh, yes.
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 So it's more interactive. It's very more interactive. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
and we really get the opportunity.
And
Like
it's
the
not
kids.
a scared straight.
No,
It's not a scared straight at all.
no. It's no type of
Thank you.
scared straight thing
Thank
where
you.
we try to scare them into communicating or nothing. It's just real conversation about real life situations that's really going on. So
Brian, we got a little time. I want to do a short reel. Keep it under a minute. He's wearing his grandmother and his
oh
aunt.
yeah,
Can you open up a
Sister.
question? Let him talk about it. I'm
Sister.
gonna do a reel for Facebook.
Yeah. Des, tell me who are you showing off here around the neck?
okay. So this is my sister. In the beginning of my story, I don't know if you remember, I said that she was the last person I talked on the phone with that begged me not to come out the house, and she passed away.
Yeah.
In the beginning of my incarceration, and my grandmother died right after Christmas Day. She passed away. So I keep them on my neck so they could get to experience me in this fashion, because they always believed in me. They always believed in me. They always saw the best in me. They always did.
Does keeping them close to you here, like, is there a translation in the mind of like, if they believe in me, I got to keep them like physically close?
I got to keep them physically close. Because this was like two of the hardest losses that I had like during this time. Like, it was real hard, and it was back to back.
Yeah.
2013, 2014, a year apart.
In prison the whole time.
In prison the whole time. Then to blow your mind, right? Picture my sister passed in August. I buried her on my son's birthday, August 29th. Wow. And picture my grandmother passed Christmas Day. I buried her on my daughter's birthday.
Oh, goodness gracious.
So, like, it was a psychological thing that I had to deal with personally, because it was like, wow. Yeah. So, it's a lot of traumatization, but I learned to get through it. I learned to cope with it. And I just keep them close to me so they could be right here experiencing me doing everything I'm doing in a positive.
Making the turn.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be good content.
Oh yeah. Appreciate it.
No problem. I noticed.
Appreciate it.
I noticed it. I was like,
Yeah.
I think that's his grandmother. Yeah.
Yep, my grandmother and my sister.
Oh.
Yep.
How many kiddos do you have?
Soccer team.
Oh, yeah, I'm boys.
Look,
they keep me going.
My babies, I love them to death. I love them to death, and I'm actually lucky to have a beautiful wife, family to hold me down through. I got a wife, I'm married. Yes, I'm married. Shout out to her too. Shout out to her too.
And she brings the babies to come and see you
every time. Yeah. Yeah.
What a blessing.
Yeah.
I love stories.
And see, and that's something that I wanted to touch on too, like the family support that some people don't have, and I'm blessed to have it. You know what I'm saying? That's what keeps me going.
And there's some people who are in prison or in jail, they don't have that.
Oh man, I have been incarcerated with people that don't have no family whatsoever, that has lost everybody. Exactly. So. Mm-hmm. Yep.
I love him.
Oh, he's been on fire lately.
Like that real.
837 Talk 107.3 FM WPRP Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along, diving right back into we're taking a peek behind the curtain of the Beyond Bars program, diving right back in just 60 seconds. Do need to remind you about One Bath and Closets, onebathandclosets.com. I could speak to this to David and his more than 30 years of experience personally, because late last year, Christy and I were tired of the old bathroom, and we lived in a house that's built in 1964. It was dated, to be sure. We called David over at One Bath and Closet, said, what can you do? He walked us through what was possible, held our hand the entire time to make sure we were happy with every little decision along the way. And I got to tell you, the end product was perfection, is perfection. 400-800-05. If you live in a house that's getting a little bit dated, you're starting to see that it's a little bit dated. Look, as time wears on, priorities in houses change, right? I mean, how many of us live in a house that has the big formal living room or formal dining room that we absolutely never use? Well, priorities were different back then. Bathroom priorities, closet priorities, both different back then. Maximize today's availability with One Bath and Closets, O-N-E, onebathandclosets.com. All right, last segment, we were talking with Des Kennedy. We're going to pivot over and talk with Rashawn Williams this time. Rashawn, just very open-ended, man. Tell your story.
Nice to be here again, and I appreciate this opportunity from 107.3 as a staff, as a body, and always appreciative of Lieutenant Don Coppola. But my story is me and Dez's story. We are similarly situated in a lot of aspects. I was born and raised in Los Angeles, California. In my upbringing, I basically grew up in a typical household, one parent household. My mother, she was a single mother. We had me and my brother, was by different fathers. Coming up in Los Angeles, California, during those years, in my early years of my upbringing, my mother kept a job. We never stayed in a house, so to speak. We stayed in apartments. Mm-hmm. But she kept a job, and I basically had the things that the typical kids had in the neighborhood, bikes and things that she was able to provide those type of things that as a kid that she wanted to have. because she did keep a job. But what was unbeknownst to me, it was that she was a functioning addict, a functioning drug addict. I didn't notice at the time because she was able to provide certain things that I wanted as a child because she did, have employment. She always did keep a job during those early years of my upbringing. And like I said, I had to, what was going on in and around Los Angeles at that time was, it was really unbeknownst to me. It really wasn't nothing that was affecting me as a child during that period of my life. But it came a time to where the functioning addict that my mother was, it started to wear off to where she started to come to a point to where she couldn't function no more as a drug addict.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I started to take notice of the way that I was living was starting to change. And it was starting to change dramatically and in a rapid fashion. And so I started realizing that, wasn't having food in the refrigerator like we normally had. And, we had moved to another area of Los Angeles that was kind of a little rougher than where we came from. And, I started to see life a little differently than what I was seeing it at that young age. And I started to notice I started to have to fend for myself. And then I came to the realization that my mother was a drug addict. And that's when I fully realized that as a child. And this was kind of all thrown on me at like out of the blue, like all of a sudden. That's how I felt. And because I didn't know my mother had been a drug addict. I didn't know this because I wasn't affected by it. But my brother, he was 5 years older than me. And years later, he would tell me that he always did know that my mother was a drug addict. I just didn't know at that time, but he knew.
Okay.
And like I say, food started to come up short in the refrigerators, and now I found myself started stealing out of stores to eat, to get something to eat. Because now, like I say, I've been hit with the realization at this young age that my mother is a drug addict, and now I have to basically feed myself in a lot of ways because her drug addiction became so big and it became so overwhelming that she couldn't even hold a job no more. So eventually we came to a point to where we was basically evicted out of our apartment.
Mm-hmm.
And we came to a point, be mindful that later on in the years, my father, he wasn't around in my life like that. And I would come to find out that my father was a married man when him and my mother made me. So when you're a married man, you don't want your wife knowing that you made a kid outside your marriage.
Right.
But at this time, I was always wondering, like, well, my father, I always see him every now and then, but I'm like, why he don't ever come around? And so I realized later on that he was a married man.
Right. And hang on, just as a point of reference, about what age is this that you were making these realizations?
I was about probably 8.
Okay.
8 years. I was in elementary school, probably 8, 9, somewhere up in there.
Okay.
But fast forward, and my mother's drug addiction became overwhelming. He was put out. My grandmother had to step in and basically rescue me because she seen my mother had hit rock bottom and she couldn't raise me no more. She couldn't, raise me in a fashion that I would need to be raised in as a child.
Mm-hmm.
So my grandmother stepped in. By this time, I had become rebellious. I was angry. I was mad at the world because I had a mother who was a drug addict. Father wasn't around. So I felt like I was embarrassed. It was an embarrassment to me. But during these stages of my life, I was blaming my mother. I was blaming a lot of other things and, things that was going on around me. I was basically in a dysfunctional family, so to speak. Family, even a lot of males in my family, they were breaking the law at the time too as well. So I didn't really have a lot of positive role models in that regard. But it eventually led me to start gang banging. You know, Los Angeles is plagued by street gangs, and 80% of the youth in Los Angeles is gang affiliated to some shape, form, or fashion, to some degree.
Really?
Yeah, whether they're
huge number
directly involved in the gang or they're affiliated to some in some way. They are affiliated to street gangs.
Okay.
And this was going on around me. It was on every street corner. It was there. The streets was right there. So eventually they took me as their own because I was rebellious. I didn't want to do right. I was mad. You know, my grandmother showed me love. She tried to raise me right, try to pick up the pieces, but I was dead set on rebelling at this point. So I became heavily involved in gang activity. Started going to jail at a young age. You know, in the late 80s, I caught my first charge, stolen car, stolen vehicle, went to juvenile hall. And from that point on, I was in and out of juvenile. I was in and out the juvenile system, out there, throughout Los Angeles County. I went to county camps. I wind up going to California Youth Authority, which is probably the highest form of juvenile incarceration throughout the state of California. So you can say that I gang banged at a high level. You know, I was into, committing all types of crimes, that I have committed along the way. And I'm not bragging or boasting. I'm just being 100% real as I can be.
So for definition standpoint, gang banging can cover a lot of different ground. Give me some examples of the types of crime.
Well, you had shootings, robbery, extortion, drug selling, you name it. Gang banging covered it.
How'd you land in Louisiana?
Well, how I ended up in Louisiana, I have my mother's side of the family is rooted here. And I had an auntie and I had some cousins here. And I came to Louisiana with the intentions of selling drugs on my mind.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's how I ended up in the state of Louisiana. And so what happened was while I was down, this was in 1998, I was down here with ill intentions to sell drugs. But I ended up involved in a conflict with two individuals one night. And that eventually erupted into a shootout. But this particular night, nobody was hurt. But my pride and my ego was hurt. And coming from a background that you were taught to respond to what you felt like was disrespect with violence, that's what I had in mind. I felt like I was disrespected. I felt like these guys shouldn't have been bold enough to try me. Because at this time I was walking in darkness. And I was educated by ignorance on every level. And at this particular time, I made a vow. I said, well, when I see any one of these individuals again, I was going to exact my revenge on them. And I wind up probably, it was like a month and a half or so later, I bumped into this young man that was present that night. When I had the prior conflict, he was one of the two individuals, and I saw him. I became enraged, and I plotted to end this young man's life. And I eventually did that outside of a nightclub back in 1998.
Wow. A month and a half, you carried that around.
Yeah, I carried that around.
It didn't dissipate at all. It didn't shrink down.
It didn't shrink down because I was so heavily indoctrinated into this way of thinking, into this thought process, that I refused to let that go because gunfire erupted. And we had this motto that if a guy shot at me and tried to kill me, I have to get my get back. Even though I shot back in that particular incident, but that wasn't enough for me at that point.
Right.
Because I was walking in darkness by all accounts. But so that, I committed that crime. And I took this young man's life. I was dead wrong. Right. I didn't think so in that moment. I didn't think so in that moment, but I was dead wrong. But I did what I did, and I eventually I wasn't smart as I thought I was. because law enforcement came to the realization that I was a suspect and I was arrested. And I was ultimately convicted and sentenced to life without parole for the crime of second-degree murder.
Mm-hmm.
And I've now been incarcerated over 27 and a half years. I make 28 years of incarceration in the month of July, flat, God spare life. But along the lines of me being incarcerated and getting convicted, when you come to prison angry. I think a lot of us that's incarcerated came to prison angry.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are still angry to this day, no matter how long they've been in jail. A lot of guys are still mad with everybody. Mm-hmm. And when I came to prison, I was mad with everyone. I was mad with the police. I was mad with the judge. I was mad with the prosecutor. I was even still mad with the guy that I killed. I was mad with the witnesses who implicated me in this crime, who thought I had something to do with it. And over the course of years that I spent in prison, probably like my first 10 years, I continue to walk around with that erroneous mindset, being mad at everyone. So my grandmother died during my 10th year of my incarceration. It was a big loss. Like as Dad said earlier, that was a monumental loss for me.
Yeah.
She was my support, even financially, of me. Even all the times I went to jail, she still found a way to support her grandson. And so I started to think different. I started to feel different. I started to realize that, I had a different outlook on life. I started having a different outlook on life. So I had this.
All right, we're gonna jump in real quick just to take one more break. We'll come back. We have about 5 minutes on the back end of the break, because there's one more area I want to hit with both of y'all. That's on the accountability level.
Okay.
And because there's a lot of accountability that goes in with this decision to share your story. So we're stepping away from the headlines for a little bit. We're getting beyond bars. Des and Rashawn are going to stick around with us for one more segment here on Talk 107.3. Oh, I want to kick Moon off the air and keep going. No, we can't because I got an interview at 9:10. I know. I didn't know it was going to be this good. It's the fact that you're so open about your story.
Right.
So the question I asked both of y'all on the way back in is like, what's the point of what was the point of that we talked about a little bit with you, but like where you turned that corner to realize it's about your own accountability. I'm gonna ask the question a little differently to you, Rashawn, because you have no eligibility of parole.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to go into. See what you about to ask? I was just about to go turn that corner right there.
Is it tougher to turn that corner when the outcome is not going to be the same?
You said when the outcome is not going to be the same, what you mean like I don't have a release mechanism.
He could be back home by the end of the year.
Right. It is. And like I said, my first 10 years, I was still battling with that. I was, like I said, walking in darkness. But like when my grandmother died and I was all these people that I was angry with, and I was mad with, I started to think I had an enemy list. So I started thinking, I said, the judge was just doing her job.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the judge was just doing her job. The police were just, the police were just doing their job. They were called. The prosecutor don't get my case on his desk if I don't pick up the gun and take this young man's life. But not only did I
skip traffic. I want that minute back. Skip traffic.
Not only did I take this young man's life, but I shot other people as well with my recklessness.
Yeah. I love this.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, we're gonna have like literally 4.5 minutes on the way back in. So if you could do a 90-second to 2 minute on accountability.
Okay. Gotcha.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
I think we need to do this.
And just come back in cold. I'll just take it back cold. You know, no bumper. Breland,
I'm just gonna skip it.
Skip it. Just come back in cold. No bumper.
Just cold?
Yeah.
Wow.
right, don't say nothing. I'm gonna turn you on.
No bumper here. Time is short. I want to make sure we maximize it. We got Des Kennedy and Rashawn Williams in with us as we take a peek beyond bars. Guys, first of all, thank you all so much for sharing your stories today. I want to spend this last 4 minutes with each of you talking about accountability. Des, we'll start with you.
Okay.
At what point did you realize you were accountable for your actions, and in turn, want to share your story with others?
Today's times, right? If you look at the violence, teenagers are coming to prison, are getting killed faster than anything in this generation.
Yeah.
So, well, I'm gonna start with the accountability first on my behalf. So, people need to understand that at the end of the day, you have a choice. You have a choice. Go this way, go that way, but your choice is going to decipher the rest of your life. Yeah. One split-second decision could cost you your whole life. And I have been in a lot of mind-altering circumstances, situations where I could have been killed due to my circumstances, choices that I put myself into. So, all right, everybody suffer. Everybody suffer when we put ourselves in this circumstance. For me, it was my wife, kids. So to have my kids come into prison and getting pat down just so they could see their father, I had to raise my children from jail.
Yeah,
I had to raise them from jail, and it's dealing with the hurt of every time I see them and knowing that I put them back into this certain circumstance again. So I want everybody to challenge themselves and ask themselves a question. When do you ask yourself? When do you ask yourself, all right, that if I do something wrong, who's all affected?
It's ownership. Ownership breaks the cycle. So I don't want to cut you off, but we're gonna be short on time.
Yes,
and I want to, because Rashawn, you were talking about you were mad at the dude you killed even after you killed him.
Yeah,
right.
When did you turn the corner on the accountability being on you?
I turned the corner, like I said, it was a monumental moment in my life. My grandmother died. She was the backbone of our family, and I started to look at life different. I had a different outlook on life. Like I said, I came to jail with an enemy list, like most dudes in prison do. I was mad. I was mad at the judge. I was mad at the district attorney. I was mad at the police. But as I started to have a spiritual awakening, I started to realize that, hold up, I'm looking at life. I was looking at it with an erroneous viewpoint. So I said, well, the judge was just doing her job as a judge. That's what she was.
So you can cross her off the enemies list.
Right. I had to cross off the enemy list. The prosecutor was only doing his job. The case don't come across his desk if I don't pick up the gun and take this young man's life, who, along with, I almost killed his brother and I shot other people with my recklessness. I scratched off. I had to scratch off the witnesses. A lot of people I just started to take off the list, but one person I couldn't remove. Who y'all think that was? Who you think that was? I couldn't remove off the enemy list.
I'm guessing it's you.
It was me. Yeah. I was my own worst enemy. Yeah. And I realized that I was my own worst enemy. Like Des, I left a 5-year-old son out there where I had 2 sons. One don't even know me because of how I was living. And me and his mother couldn't see eye to eye. So, he don't even know. Me and him don't have a relationship to this day. But my son that I left out there, he'll turn 34 this year if God spares his life.
Wow.
And so I left him out there at the age of 5. And he still manages to love me to death. Regardless of my poor choices that affected him as well. So, I had a spiritual awakening. I had to realize that I was my own worst enemy.
Guys, I can't thank you enough for sharing. Des, Rashawn, I really appreciate y'all coming in today.
Anytime. Thank y'all for the opportunity.
That's going to do it for us, y'all. Moon's next.
I appreciate you.
All right. Facebook, we got to bounce as well. Actually, you know what? Can we keep Facebook for 2 more minutes? because I got one more follow-up question for each of you.
Okay.
Right.
But a very, very brief answer on it.
Okay.
When you get out,
Okay.
what's the game plan? Have you learned a trade? You got a
Yes.
skill? What's the game plan?
So actually I'm a barber. So
Okay.
So I'm going back to barber school to get my master license. So all of the kids that I impact, I could teach them and get them out of the streets and give them the same trade.
Okay.
So all of the schools that I've been going to, a lot of the kids been asking me like, man, listen, I can't wait till you get out so you could teach me how to cut hair. So I'm gonna utilize the opportunity to teach them how to cut hair.
Love that.
Yes.
All right, Rashawn, the question for you is a little bit different. The son that doesn't know you're out there, is there a plan to connect there, or do you just leave things be?
Well, my son, that's my junior, always did try to, connect with him, but that never happened. But along with, as far as, trades, I still remain optimistic, even though I have a life sentence and I don't have a chance at parole. I went on the clemency board in August and I was denied. And, this young man's mother came out and gives me what she had every right to.
Right.
And she had strong victim opposition and I was denied. But I still remain optimistic, even in being faced with that, with that great, how you want to put it, adversity. And but I know what I did. It was self-inflicted, but I still managed to, get trades while I was, because be mindful, I spent 25 years in Angola.
Right.
Flat. I was there and I was blessed to be able to come to where I'm at now. And while I was there, I received a trade in welding. I received a trade in plumbing. I received a trade in IC3 digital literacy. I was part of the Leadership Builders congregation. I was doing this in Angola, speaking to youth. We was, tours would come to us. And I was, given that opportunity by really a guy by the name of Chris Picard asked me that I want to become involved. And then a lady by the name of Amber Victoria, who was over it, granted me the opportunity to do that. And so when I was able to come here, I was linked straight in with Dez and Don and Johnny, and everything else been rolling ever since then. But that's what I was able to do.
Unbelievable stuff. Well, thank you all again. We're going to sign off on Facebook. We'll be back at it tomorrow.